along.
What's that switch in your kitchen do?
Nothing. Flick it on, off, nothing happens.
Weird.
Now, if it would turn on the overhead fan, that would be cool. Can't get that to work either.
Frustrating.
You know, this is what's wrong with humanity. We think we got it all figured out, but we don't even know what the switch is supposed to do.
Dave.
Think we can build a spaceship that takes us to Mars when we can't even get a switch to work?
Hey, Dave.
I swear, we're never gonna leave this solar system. We'll be stuck on this planet forever until we all go extinct.
Dave, what's the best case scenario?
Best case? Well, I make a call, someone comes and connects that switch to something, like maybe that overhead fan.
That's best?
Well, sure, but...
That's best. Best Home Services. They have 4 electricians and 4 trucks right now waiting for your call. They'd have that switch looked after in no time.
Well, I feel a bit silly now.
GetBest.com. When something goes wrong, we're waiting.
So maybe...
Maybe we can go to Mars.
True relief for back and neck pain. Here at Johnston Spinal Care 596 Back, we focus on back and neck related conditions like stenosis, sciatica, neuropathy, and bulging discs that can cause weakness, numbness, or pain. Being an innovator in non-surgical techniques, I have developed unique and extremely effective spinal decompression protocols for overcoming these chronic and debilitating conditions that don't involve any medications or surgery. This 3-step VAX-D spinal decompression approach uses a patented computerized table that decompresses the spine to gently remove pressure off pinched nerves and increase blood circulation to the area. For young or old, and so comfortable that most patients almost fall asleep while on the table. No hanging upside down. With this award-winning technology, back and neck pain can be a thing of the past. We always offer a no-obligation consultation and free x-rays to see if you're a candidate. Johnston Spinal Care. We're here for you. Call 596-BACK. 596-BACK. That's 596-2225.
Hi, Michael Crothers, owner of Pure Air Conditioning. Now that our economy is reopened and to help the community, we've decided to offer a safe $29 AC maintenance. All Pure Air employees are supplied with gloves, foot coverings, and KN95 masks for your and their protection. Find us online at getpureair.com to schedule your safe $29 AC maintenance. Join me every Saturday at 11:30 a.m. for the Get Pure Air radio show. I'll be talking about everything from air conditioning maintenance to troubleshooting tips.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 6 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
This update is presented by Johnston Spinal Care, the leader in spinal decompression. Find them online at 596back.com.
Wink News traffic.
Good Monday morning. Traffic flowing nice and smooth on I-75 if you're heading to and from Lee and Collier. If you're in Lehigh Acres, there's a slowdown on Columbus heading north towards Jaguar, making that northbound commute. Just stick to Bell or even Homestead if you want the fastest options. We look great on Daniels Parkway all the way up to Tree Line. Then traffic starting to slow down heading west towards I-75, as well as delays building in Cape Coral westbound on Tropicana Parkway starting from Pine Island Road. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News next.
Wink Weather Authority.
For your Monday, clouds and sunshine. Even a few sprinkles are possible, but nothing too widespread. High temperatures today in the mid-70s, much warmer than what we had over the weekend. More 70s for the entire work week with a few isolated showers Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then by late Friday into Saturday morning, we are going to see another chance of rain with a cold front. That will be reinforcing another chilly weekend. Highs only in the 60s, lows in the 40s by Sunday morning with a chance of rain by Martin Luther King Jr. Day. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Serving up a tray load of truth today on 92.5 Fox News.
I never get sick. Never taken a sick day. I'm not going to let a little thing like 100-degree fever stop my business. You know what really makes me sick? Downtime. You know the cure to downtime? Grainger. With same-day pickup, next-day delivery options, and time-saving inventory solutions, Grainger keeps our facility running and fit as a fiddle. Some people go to the doctor. I go to America's trusted source for industrial supplies because Grainger's got my back. Call, click Grainger.com, or stop by to see for yourself. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Pool need a checkup? Call the doctor, the pool doctor.
Hi, Dr. Mark here. LED color-changing pool lights can create an after-dark backyard oasis. Pick your color or select one of the light shows. You can see how dramatic it really is on our website. We're a family company, and for over 40 years, we've been doing business right.
The prescription is the pool doctor for award-winning pool service, repairs, and unheard of $39 diagnostic calls. That's mypooldoctor.com or 239-574-1133. State certified CPC 057088.
Brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Remember, customize and save with Liberty Mutual Insurance Company. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Hey, this is Papa, reporting that we're still getting a lot of calls from homeowners who were told they needed a new re-roof after Irma. Most of these folks had a few broken tiles that are obsolete. Our company has 2 warehouses filled with the older obsolete tiles that have never been used. If you think that you may not need a new re-roof, but only need to replace some obsolete tile, please call me for our free tile roof inspection. We may be able to repair and seal your roof to make it look new and beautiful, a lot cheaper than replacing the entire roof. If you call me for our free inspection, we'll place you on our proactive list. And in the event of another hurricane, you won't have to go searching for a contractor because we will automatically call you to see if you need assistance. Let me show you how we can clean and seal and protect your roof, pavers, and pool decks. On behalf of my sons, Casey, Carrie, and Cody, call us at 945-2700. That's 945-2700, area code 239-945-2700. License CCC 133-1790. We're open 24/7, and you can call us right now for a free tile roof inspection.
Next on the House of Broken Dreams, you'll meet one of Jennifer Kessie's best friends who takes us back to the day Jennifer disappeared.
We all knew something was very wrong. This wasn't anyone that would ever just leave or not contact. There's no way. And obviously it was for the reason it is still today, that someone abducted her or something happened to her.
Available now on Apple Podcasts.
Did you hear the news? Now you can. With instant updates from Fox News for Amazon Alexa. Breaking stories and top headlines. Daily coronavirus developments. The economy, and so much more. Brought to you by Fox News, America's #1 cable news network. Plus, setup couldn't be easier because everything's ready to go in the app. Just say,
Alexa, play news from Fox.
In Fox News.
It's the latest when you need it. On demand from Fox News and Amazon Alexa.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. I am so glad that you are joining us on terrestrial radio. Believe me, that's a good place to be right now. 239-479-5592. Anytime you want to talk, text this morning. Man, would I love to hear from you today. Because apparently, there are only going to be a few ways that we're going to be able to communicate soon. Is that the idea here? How many of you have a ham radio? Jake the Millennial, do you even know what a ham radio is? Do you even know why I'm bringing that up? Oh, man. I think Ian Hicken knows about ham radios, right? I'm pretty sure he has some kind of device linked up to his home studio where he can communicate with just about anybody he wants.
Home studio? You mean like 6 home-built towers in his yard?
Yeah, he's probably got towers, and he's probably got, Ian has, he's a techie. He's a techie guy, and he also was doing, well, anyway, we don't want to go into that. Ian's, he's a good man, and probably ahead of his time as we start to talk this morning about what is going on with tech, everybody? What is happening here? Is Twitter decided to permanently ban the president as Parler, a place where people want to go to speak freely without having to be concerned about whether or not somebody is going to interpret that speech the wrong way because they don't like you, and then ultimately decide that you cannot communicate. There's something that you need to understand with what happened with Parler, what happened with Twitter specifically, and how clearly, without a doubt, for those that have no problem with the censorship of free speech in this country and who feel like Twitter's a privately owned business. They can do whatever they want. How many times have you heard that? How many times have you heard this weekend from some libs out there, Democrats, same thing? How many times have you heard these are private businesses? I mean, it's just like a baker who doesn't want to make a cake for a gay wedding. I mean, it's the same thing, right? No. It's really not. Because you have a privately owned business doesn't mean you get to do whatever you want. Last time I checked, you can't discriminate against women on your platform. You can't discriminate against women, period. You can't discriminate against minorities. Do you understand where we're going here? Blacks being discriminated against, women being discriminated against. How many businesses get to do that? You don't. So when somebody says privately owned businesses, they get to do whatever they want. Do they really? They don't. So we need to understand why this happens specifically and what Twitter's definition of and the reason why they went about it. And then we really have to ask the question, not only what do we do next? 239-479-5592. What do you think we do next? What should we do next? Some of the obvious things we can do next. But also, I guess I need to know and I need to hear from Democrats this morning, from you liberals that are listening. I don't know, maybe you moderates, maybe you individuals who somehow think and have now conflated MAGA, Making America Great Again, and those that supported the president all of a sudden as terrorists. I'm not kidding. That's where it has gone. If you go to Twitter right now, you see hashtag MAGA terrorist. Why do you suppose that's the case? Is it because a gentleman was kicked off a plane? Because I guess there was some chanting of USA and maybe he saw that. I don't know if that specific instance was the case, but they did kick somebody off the plane for being a MAGA supporter, I guess. Being a supporter of the president and getting kicked off the plane and not being able and being accused of being a terrorist, domestic terrorism. Yeah, there's news on that this morning. I want to see if I can find this because this was sent to me early in the morning and I thought this isn't really the case. This isn't really happening. There it is. Paul Sperry, Real Clear Politics, Paul Sperry. Democrats in both the House and Senate are planning to draft legislation to classify MAGA rallies. How many of you are at MAGA rallies? As, quote, domestic terrorist activity. And require the FBI, DOJ, and DHS to take steps to prevent such, quote, domestic terrorism, unquote. Senator Dick Durbin is leading the effort along with another representative, Schneider. How many of you went to a domestic terrorist active rally? Now, you should be concerned this morning about this. You should be concerned about how you are being labeled. You should be concerned about what to do next. And again, I'm wondering what you're thinking this morning as you wake up. 239-479-5592. For those that don't know, Parler it looks like it's going to be offline for a while now because of something that I mentioned last week. I said it in passing. I think it was to Liz Harrington, or I'm not sure who I said it to, but I made mention of the fact that there was talk about how Apple was going to take Parler off of the App Store unless they kind of change their ways. And didn't happen. Some of the demands, just like with the president and Twitter, didn't happen. So taking it off the App Store, Google taking it off the App Store, and then ultimately, I said last week, the power of big tech is so big, so huge, if you will, that you also have to remember when somebody says, you have to get out there and make your own platform. That's all. We just need someone, believing all things being equal, that you could have someone go out and you could go out and create your own a business model. All right, you don't like the fact that you're being stifled in some way, your speech or whatever. Go ahead and make your own, build your own platform. And I made the case last week, and I kind of said it in passing, that the problem becomes how far are some of these tyrants willing to go to shut you down? Because remember, you're only as good, your website is only as good as the cloud will allow you to provide for. In other words, somebody's hosting you on a website. If you're not hosted as well because there's pressure from maybe employees or others to say, do not host this app or do not host this website, it doesn't make a difference if you create the website. If there's nobody who is going to host it on the interwebs, Al Gore's famous interwebs, then you're out of business. And that seems so extreme. There were people that were texting me last week that thought it was a bad thing to say, that I would even bring that up. And I was kind of flippant about it. I just said it to have you realize how deep that tech is in every aspect of your life and the places that you're saying, well, I'm not going to go to this business anymore. Well, guess what? We have allowed these businesses to infiltrate and control. And some would say that some big tech controls the government more than the government controlling big tech. And then the news comes out that Parler is going to be offline. If you go to Parler right now and you try to use your app and you try to go to their webpage, it's down. Why? Because Amazon Web Services, who hosts Parler, the infrastructure, the cloud, if you will, they've decided to suspend the platform. We are clearly being singled out. That was Amy Pykoff on Fox and Friends Weekend, one day after Apple suspended Parler from the App Store, even though it surged to number one because there were people that are like, yeah, I like free speech. I like to be able to say what I feel and not be concerned about someone deciding that what I'm saying is wrong. And I'm going to get to that in just a second. But there you go. So Google suspends, Apple suspends, and Amazon Web Services, the place where they go to host, they say, we're shutting you down as well. Now, I guess what I'm trying to figure out in all of this is who on the left, how many of you Democrats out there, and if you would like to call, I'd love to have a conversation with you this morning about it. How many of you agree with this? How many of you think that MAGA rallies were really domestic terrorism? How many of you really honestly believe that half the country, 74 million people, are like Nazi Germany? That is being brought up yesterday. We'll have that audio. How many of you honestly believe this? Do you think that, you know, another part of this is, you think it ends with MAGA rallies? You think it ends with Trump supporters? You think that you as a Democrat, as a liberal, you, in no way, shape, or form could you be next with your speech? Listen, we're going to take a break right now. And when we come back, you may be asking, what did Twitter do? Like, what was their reasoning behind banning the president? You should hear this. This is so important. I don't know if anybody realizes what they said specifically about why they banned the president permanently. And I'll give you a hint. The president said nothing about what they declare is the reason. They decided to do this because they put words in his mouth. No, I'm not. I will explain, and you tell me if it's crazy. 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. By the way, we are streaming right now on YouTube. I don't know how long that's going to last, but hey, if you want to be there and watch, and also on Facebook, have no idea how long that's going to last. At Drew Steele Radio on Facebook, at Drew Steele Radio on YouTube, and also at 925 Fox News. All right, let's find out what's going on with traffic up to the minute. Here's Sabrina Katz.
Good Monday morning. Traffic flowing nice and smooth on I-75 if you're heading to and from Lee and Collier. If you're in Lehigh Acres, there's a slowdown on Columbus heading north towards Jaguar. Making that northbound commute, just stick to Bell or even Homestead if you want the fastest options. We look great on Daniels Parkway all the way up to Tree Line. Then traffic starting to slow down heading west towards I-75, as well as delays building in Cape Coral westbound on Tropicana Parkway starting from Pine Island Road. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News next.
Wink Weather Authority. After the cool start, high temperature of 75 degrees, clouds and sunshine with even a few sprinkles possible, especially this morning. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, Weather Authority.
This Fox News Business Report is presented by Sargent's Integrated Pest Solutions Incorporated, providing organic and botanical pest control solutions since 2011.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Are rethinking political contributions after the deadly Capitol siege last Wednesday. Citigroup, JP Morgan, and Marriott International are among companies pausing PAC donations. The Wall Street Journal reports investors are showing signs of increasing enthusiasm, reflecting optimism about a vaccine-fueled global recovery and the changed economics of the post-coronavirus world. Overnight, U.S. stock futures lower and Asian markets mixed. In the closing months of the Trump administration, energy companies stockpiled enough drilling permits for Western public lands to keep pumping oil for years. It could undercut President-elect Joe Biden's plans to block new drilling on public lands to address climate change. Gasoline prices rose 9 cents in the last 3 weeks due to a rise in crude oil prices. However, the Lundberg survey says there's still much more supply than demand. At your Fox Business Report, I'm Sal Giangrasso, invested in you.
Fox News Radio on demand on the Fox News app. Download the app and just click listen. Plus, when you swipe left, you can listen to your favorite Fox News talk shows live. Swipe right for the latest Fox News Radio newscasts on demand. That's not all. Hear your favorite podcasts from Dana Perino, Bill Hemmer, Martha McCallum, Brett Baer, and many more. Just hit schedule, set your alarm, and click listen. Fox News Radio on the Fox News app. Download it today. America's listening to Fox News.
Drew Steele in the morning and Trey Radel in the afternoon. 2 doses of what cures liberalism. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
How do you turn your $600 stimulus into the $2,000 you deserve? Just get the New Year's Sutherland Stimulus. Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral are turning your $600 into $2,000. It's the best way to kick off the new year. Get incredible incentives to buy a new Nissan right now, like 0% APR financing. That's right, folks. And when you buy today, you make 0 payments until next year, 2022. Bring us your old car and get up to $10,000 more than its value. Plus, we'll turn your $600 stimulus money into $2,000. You get the money you deserve, not $600, but the full $2,000. That's the New Year's Sutherland Stimulus. Drive new and get more money for your stimulus and trade. $10,000 more for your trade, along with 0% APR, but only for a limited time. Start 2021 at Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral right now. Shop online at nissansales.com or capecoralnissan.com. If it doesn't say Sutherland, you paid too much. See dealer for details.
If you're moving, selling, or purchasing furniture and need help getting it home, there are a lot of moving companies to choose from. But wait, all moving companies are not created equal. Sure, if you're moving your college students' furniture, hiring young movers is fine. But if you're moving highly valued items, you need Rice's Moving and Transport. They meticulously pad wrap everything and secure your valuables and gently pack, transport, and set them up. Rice's Moving and Transport employs skilled professional movers who respect your belongings, not just young hunks who can lift heavy things. Moving is stressful enough. Don't stress about hiring the right moving company. Here's what Teresa in Naples said about Rice's Moving and Transport. I was so impressed when your moving crew came to my home. They politely introduced themselves by name. Seems small, but it made an impression. When you need help moving, trust Rice's Moving and Transport. Rice'sMoving.net, moving you into the future.
Hey, it's Drew Steele talking to my good friend Dave Meister, owner of the Floor Meisters. And I love talking to Dave because when I talk to Dave, I know that that means he has something special for you. In this case, like I have in my home, Core Tech is absolutely amazing, Dave. And I got to tell you, I love it. My wife loves it. And boy, you've got a lot of Core Tech right now in stock.
Yes, we do. And we've got about 6 or 7 truckloads coming to beat the tariff increase. And we're going to guarantee freeze of the prices on all our in-stock Core-Tech. We're not going to go up 50 cents a square foot, and we're going to save it for our customers.
And so when it comes to Core-Tech, I mean, it is just amazing the selection that you have. And not only that, the installation is incredible. What you do there is fantastic.
Yes, and we stock 100 colors of Core-Tech.
Floor Meisters, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco. So give them a call today at 239-596-4964 or on the web at floormeisters.com.
Starting a small business requires strange tactics. I started my business in the basement of a factory in 1986. There was no heat, no air conditioning, and I used blankets as my office walls. Instead of customers, my visitors were rats, birds, flies, and snakes, and I was broke. To psych myself up that I was going to succeed, I wore formal business attire and a tie to that lonely factory basement every day. Strange? Yeah, I looked like a goof. But I didn't care. I had my late model 1970s mustache to comfort me. Hi, I'm Mike Capel. Now, 30 years later, I still use strange business tactics, like making payroll simple and incredibly inexpensive for small businesses. Our payroll starts at just $10 a month. Go to patriotsoftware.com and enter promo code RADIO, and I'll give you 2 months of payroll processing free. That's patriotsoftware.com.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News, 239-479-5592. We're going to get to your calls in just a second. Also streaming live for the time being on YouTube at Drew Steele Radio, Facebook at Drew Steele Radio. So either place you can go and check out the program if you would like. Again, I think the important aspect of this is that with the president being permanently deleted from Twitter, if you will, the question becomes, how did they make this decision? And many people have talked about this. I'm looking at an article from TechCrunch, and I've read a couple of different places where they've explained why this decision happened. They made the determination after the president's tweets. And I'm going to give you an example of the 2 tweets that the president made, where Twitter decided that because of these 2, enough was enough. And what did they say about these tweets? What did he tweet? What did Twitter say was wrong with them? And why they made the decision. It's shocking. Or as Elf would say, it's shocking. I don't know, I always noticed that. Is it just me watching Elf, and when he said, that's shocking, the way he said it, it was very, I don't know. Well, it's I'm sure North Pole is very close to Canada, right? Okay. 239-479-5592. All right, Steve there. Steve is in Cape Coral. Steve wanted to weigh in on Parler and the elimination of Parler from the Apple Store to be able to get the app in Google, and also the fact that Amazon Web Services, who was hosting Parler, took them down. So now, right now, for the time being, you can't even access Parler. Steve, your thoughts? Oh, Steve is gone. All right. 239-479-5592. Steve, if you want to call back, or if anybody wants to call back to comment on Parler. All right, so let's get to... Jake, just let me know if they call back. So here's what they determined. The president tweeted on January 8th, the 75 million great American patriots who voted for me, America First, and Make America Great Again, will have a giant voice long into the future. They will not be disrespected or treated unfairly in any way, shape, or form. That first part of the tweet, they took and said, and I'm not kidding, this is what Twitter's explanation is. Listen to this. Twitter says the use of the words American patriots to describe some of his supporters is also being interpreted as support for those committing violent acts at the U.S. Capitol. Excuse me? The mention of his... This is from Twitter. This is Twitter's reason. The mention of his supporters having a giant voice long into the future and that they will not be disrespected or treated unfairly in any way, shape, or form is being interpreted as further indication that President Trump does not plan to facilitate an orderly transition, and instead that he plans to continue to support, empower, and shield those who believe he won the election. What? So what Twitter decided to do is they were looking for any excuse to try to read into what the president tweeted as reason enough to take him off the platform. Oh, it gets better or worse. And so when we come back, I'll explain more of this. How do they do this? How do they get away with this? How is it that they can get away with it, but somehow Parler needs to be taken down by individuals, by tech companies, and nobody says anything at all? All right, there's more. We'll explain coming up.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
Good morning, Southwest Florida. I'm Alan with Sargent's Integrated Pest Solutions. My 6 years of service to my country taught me a lot about integrity, trust, and getting the job done and getting it done right. I have integrated much of my Army training into the business. And I mean integrated. I'm actually standing here recording in my fatigues. I understand that it may seem that there are more pest control companies than bugs, but our company is very different. A lot of pest control companies are what we call spray jockeys. You see bugs and they just come and spray. You see more bugs, so they spray more. My team's approach consists of understanding what's causing the bugs to come in. Sometimes it's something as simple as caulking or patching holes. Spraying is not always the answer. If you're tired of the spray jockeys and want real pest control solutions, call us, Sargent's Integrated Pest Solutions, today at 595-4867. That's 595-4867. Now serving Marco, Naples, Bonita, and Estero.
Happy 2021 from Conditioned Air. A new year, a fresh start, and a good time to freshen up your air conditioning system and indoor air quality. With our Southwest Florida weather, it's a good idea to have your system cleaned and checked by a conditioned air technician at least twice a year. Left unattended, small issues become big issues. Cars need regular maintenance, so do air conditioning systems. Conditioned Air, the comfort people since 1962. 1-888-COLD-AIR and online at conditionedair.com. License number CAC 1819590.
Is foot pain making your life miserable? The Good Feet store specializes in foot pain relief. Call 552-FEET or visit us at the Good Feet store in Naples or our newest location in Fort Myers. Or stop in for a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Pool need a checkup? Call the doctor, the pool doctor.
Hi, Dr. Mark here. Heat pumps take heat out of the air and put it in your pool. They cost less to run than gas heaters, and you won't have panels on your roof. Special pricing, rebates, and free on-site evaluations. We're a family company, and for over 40 years, we've been doing business right.
The prescription is the pool doctor for award-winning pool service, repairs, and unheard of $39 diagnostic calls. That's mypooldoctor.com or 239-574-1133. State certified CPC 057088.
I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
I'm an interior designer and I trust Rock Solid.
If you're looking for just the right countertops for your home, the choice is simple. Rock Solid.
I'm a contractor and I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
Whether you're a homeowner or a contractor who wants the finest countertops, choose Rock Solid, a company you can trust.
Rock Solid in the Pink Building, 2240 JNC Boulevard, Naples. Rock Solid. We don't stop at just countertops.
New Year's resolutions are hard to keep, so give your business more than resolutions. Give it solutions from Comcast Business. With fast internet, advanced Wi-Fi, powerful cybersecurity solutions, and 24/7 support, you'll have everything you need to bounce forward.
Fox News. I'm Chris Foster. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi today will bring up a resolution calling on Vice President Pence to remove President Trump from office through a majority vote of his cabinet. If that doesn't happen, she'll hold a vote on impeachment, calling the president guilty of insurrection for inciting the riot at the Capitol last week.
Sadly, the person who's running the executive branch is a deranged, unhinged, dangerous president of the United States.
Speaker Pelosi on CBS 60 Minutes. That riot at the Capitol is costing the president business.
PGA America is cutting ties to President Donald Trump, voting to take the PGA Championship event away from his Bedminster, New Jersey golf course next year. Calling it a political situation not of our making, the CEO of PGA of America says their feeling was, given the tragic events of Wednesday, that they could no longer hold it at Bedminster.
Fox's Sal Giangrasso. America's listening to Fox News.
Wink News traffic.
Lots of cars on Daniels Parkway heading east of I-75 towards Treeline Avenue. Also in Estero, the slowdown beginning on Corkscrew Road, getting off of I-75, heading east towards Ben Hill. Ben Hill is still up to speed, though, if you're heading south of Estero Parkway. Also, commuters in Collier County, slowdowns beginning on Immokalee Road, especially heading west towards Logan near Gulf Coast High, as well as delays southbound on 951 just near the East Trail. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For your Monday, clouds and sunshine. Even a few sprinkles are possible, but nothing too widespread. High temperatures today in the mid-70s, much warmer than what we had over the weekend. More 70s for the entire work week with a few isolated showers Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then by late Friday into Saturday morning, we are going to see another chance of rain with a cold front. That will be reinforcing another chilly weekend. Highs only in the 60s, lows in the 40s by Sunday morning with a chance of rain by Martin Luther King Jr. Day. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
You don't have to feel distant. Come join the conversation.
I am mad at everything going on.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Right, all along.
It's Fred Kobe with your Kobe Cooling Tip of the Day. I'd like to tell you that I'm the best AC mechanic in my company, but I'd be lying to you. I think my NATE certified mechanic team hides my tools from me so I don't hurt myself. You see, I'm the old guy, and I've been doing this work since I was a kid with my dad. Our younger staff are really the best mechanics in this business, and they've been through years of training and years of testing, with continuing education to keep up to date on the latest and greatest things in the air conditioning world. All companies brag about their experience, and we certainly have that, but we're most proud of our team being on the cutting edge and the leaders in technology and application of the modern air conditioning equipment. That's why we've been voted best air conditioning company in Southwest Florida year after year in the news press polls. It's not me, it's the best team of NATE certified mechanics ever assembled. Call 239-482-1542 and experience the best. License CACO 57313.
Most people that buy their own health insurance think once they have chosen their ACA plan during open enrollment, they're stuck for the year. This is simply not the case. You can change at any time, no problems. If you are fairly healthy and don't need mandated coverage like maternity, you can save 30 to 60% with Health Plan Network. Couples under 65 are saving $500 to $1,000 a month with better coverage. You owe it to yourself to see if you qualify for a better plan that can save you money with lower deductibles. Go to healthplannetwork.net to request a quote. That's healthplannetwork.net. Or call Tim Cooper, an expert with over 23 years experience, at 239-268-6712. That's 239-268-6712. Act now to see if you qualify to save 30 to 60%. healthplannetwork.net. Sensible solutions.
And now a word from Dr. Johnston at 596 Back.
Across the country, there has been a major increase in the number of back and neck pain cases. Most researchers attribute it to a decrease in the amount of activity people have been getting. This leads to pinched or compressed spinal nerves. These same nerves go down into people's legs and arms. I've especially noticed this among those with stenosis, arthritis, or bulging herniated discs. This pain, weakness, or numbness should not be ignored. Action needs to be taken. If you suffer from one of these conditions, or even scoliosis or neuropathy, it's important to get your condition correctly diagnosed and treated. At Johnston Spinal Care, we treat these conditions non-surgically, without needles or medications, using spinal decompression, completely safe and painless. Call today for a no-charge telephone consultation or MRI review. Johnston Spinal Care. We're here for you. Call 596-BACK, 596-BACK. That's 596-2225.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Now, back to Daybreak with Drew Steele.
The effect of this is that there is no longer a free and open social media company or site for any American to get on any longer. Because these big companies, Apple, Amazon, Google, they have just destroyed what was likely, Parler is likely $1 billion company. Poof, it's gone. But it's more than just the financial aspect of that. Republicans have no way to communicate. It doesn't even matter if you're a Republican or conservative. If you don't want to be regulated by left-wingers that are at Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, where you get shadow banned, nobody gets to see you, they get to decide what's violent or not violent. It's preposterous.
It's preposterous. That is Sunday Morning Future's Maria Bartiromo speaking with Representative Devin Nunes. He's calling for a RICO investigation. And he's saying, listen, you got Google, Apple, Amazon all banning Parler from their app stores. And you have the left in this country, tech, who has been given a lot of power and a lot of control. Listen, just look at the last election and what they did and did not do and the things that they would talk about and would not allow to be talked about. Look at what they did to the New York Post and the stories of Hunter Biden and what was allowed to be put up on Twitter and what wasn't. And you can't tell me, if you're the left, well, I was going to say you can't tell me you cheered this. You can't tell me you're happy about this. The sad reality is that there are people that are listening to the sound of my voice right now who think that this is okay. And I wonder if that's you. 239-479-5592. I sincerely want to have a conversation with you who may think that this is a good thing, who believe that hashtag MAGA terrorism is real. No, I'm not kidding. That is on Twitter right now. Why? And I brought this up earlier, that Paul Sperry from Real Clear Politics and Real Clear Investigations is claiming that Democrats in both the House and Senate are planning to draft legislation to classify MAGA rallies. Hey, have you here in Southwest Florida been to a MAGA rally? As domestic terrorist activity. Domestic terrorist activity. By going to a rally to support the President of the United States, you're a domestic terrorist. Now, mind you, they won't say anything about even what took place yesterday on the streets of New York, where Antifa marched in the streets of New York. One reporter, I understand, was injured in this, marching down the street, taking over, quote unquote, sections of the city yesterday. But Antifa doing that, apparently that's not that big a deal. That's not what we're talking about here, right? There's no domestic terrorist activity when people are dressed all in black and are taking over the streets of a major city. But again, I just wonder what you think about this. 239-479-5592. And we're going to go to your calls in just a second, but I want to finish up this thought because I brought this up earlier just so you understand what Twitter is doing and what they did and what they claim that they did, the reasons why they did this, taking the president permanently off of Twitter. So how did the company explain its reasoning point by point as to why they permanently banned the president? They claim many, many second chances to stop doing what he was doing. And so here are the two tweets that were the ones that set them over the edge and finally made the move. On January 8th, the president says 75 million great American patriots. Hey, are you one of the 75 million that feel that they are great American patriots and what the words American patriots mean to you? 75 million great American patriots who voted for me, America First and Make America Great Again, will have a giant voice long into the future. They will not be disrespected or treated unfairly in any way, shape, or form. So Twitter says, whoa. The use of the word American patriots to describe, this is their explanation, their written explanation as to why those tweets were offensive and why they took him off the platform. Listen carefully to this. The use of the words American patriots, quote unquote, to describe some of his supporters is also being interpreted as support for those committing violent acts at the U.S. Capitol. So Twitter interpreted American patriots as people who would commit violent acts because some individuals at the rally last week, the hundreds of thousands of people that showed up because a couple of people did what they did, which was wrong, that all of a sudden now American patriots is going to be twisted. This is Twitter's opinion. And then this is their words, quote, the mention of his supporters having a giant voice long into the future and that they will not be disrespected or treated unfairly in any way, shape, or form is being interpreted as further indication that the president does not plan to facilitate a quote-unquote orderly transition, and instead that he plans to continue to support, empower, and shield those who believe he won the election. So they now interpret that as, yeah, we're not having an orderly transition, which we know there is going to be. And then here comes the second part of what Twitter's reasoning is behind taking the president off the platform. Right after that, the president tweeted, quote, "To all those who have asked, I will not be going to the inauguration on January 20th. So the president is not going. What are the reasons? You could probably interpret the reasons to be, or understand the reasons to be, well, these people that are around me don't want me to be there anyway. They're talking about language that seems ridiculous, like coup and insurrection. They are planning on trying to remove me from office using the 25th Amendment. So the president is like, why would I want to go? Now, that is his choice. That is what he's thinking. But no. Twitter says something completely different. What does Twitter say about that? Get this. This is their quote as to why they took him off the platform. Quote, "The second tweet may also serve as encouragement to those potentially considering violent acts that the inauguration would be a, quote, safe target, as he will not be attending." What? This is Twitter's explanation. So what Twitter decided to do is interpret the president's words the way that they believe he meant them, as opposed to what was there. President's not going to show up at the inauguration. Oh, the reason why is because if he's not there, it's a safe target. Hey, you're not going to hurt me. You'll just hurt everybody. That's insane, is it not? That people would think that way. It seems to be, to me, my opinion, that just seems like it's odd at best. So I just wonder where we're going to go next, and we'll talk about that. And to understand what tech is doing, the kind of power they yield, what they can do, taking Parler completely, basically off the planet, just gone. Does not exist at the moment. It'll be back, but it's going to take a while. Gab, where the president is now, where he signed up, they were taken off the App Store back in 2018. The CEO was wise enough to see this coming and built his own infrastructure, his own network, his own servers to be able to get it onto the internet, so that if anything like this were to happen, it wouldn't happen to Gab. But again, it probably happened to Parler because they never thought in a million years that something like this would take place, that people would sanction the idea of stifling free speech. Randy's in Naples. I'm sorry, Ray, not Randy. Ray. Forgive me, Ray. Ray's in Naples. Ray wanted to comment on this. Go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, I've had a thought kind of rolling around in my head all weekend after last week and Trump losing the appeals and stuff. And what it was, there's a country western song out there, I believe it's by Garth Brooks, and it's called "Thank God for Unanswered Prayers." And relating that to what's going on right now, I think because when Trump lost his appeal with Pence and everything, we have the opportunity to see what is going on with a Biden administration. And exactly what you're talking about now, I don't think a lot of these things would have been revealed if the elections weren't tainted and Trump lost. But I think we have a very unique opportunity right now to see what is happening under a Biden administration. And Trump is not down and out. Like I said, Trump in 2024 would come back and be able to say, see what's going on? Is this what you want? And like I said, I think it's a very unique opportunity. And I'd only say to people, don't be afraid of what's going on. You're having an opportunity to see something that you would never have been able to see without this happening.
No,
blessing in disguise.
Ray, I understand exactly where you're coming from. I like the fact that you're looking glass full as opposed to glass empty, half empty. So that is a good thing, that there's opportunity in this, where there may have been some in the past who mocked you for suggesting that big tech companies were trying to stifle free speech, that were trying to deplatform or take people out of the arena. That suggestion was a joke, ridiculous. It was conspiracy theory. Well, how conspiracy theory is it now when you see it actually happening? And so that's the first thing. The second thing is going to be now, Ray, how do you get those individuals to understand that this is real, and for them that there has to be a moment where, let's say months from now, Trump's out of office, he's no longer around, there are no MAGA rallies, nobody is doing anything like this. It's not happening by their own doing, not because people are trying to censor or stop or domestic terrorism, this nonsense that's being put out there. Let's hope it doesn't get to that place. But then where do they go? Are they still going to be happy with someone who disagrees with the political landscape? What if it has to do with abortion? What if it has to do with immigration? To your point, what if it has to do with the things that the Biden administration is going to put forward now? Do those same people want the speech being taken off of platforms that would disagree with the politics? And dare I say, yeah, that's cool with a lot of people, because they're not willing to fight in the arena of ideas. They just want you to shut up. They want you to go away. And as a matter of fact, they don't want you to come back. They would like for you to feel the wrath of those that might suggest that they disagree with your politics. And that's a sad state. Ray, listen, thanks for the call there, Naples. I appreciate it. 239-479-5592. Let's take a break, Jake, right now. And when we come back, Tom's in Fort Myers. He wanted to talk a little bit about this, and certainly what some of the language coming out from Joe Biden. Ray brought up Joe Biden, some of what he said. Joe Biden is getting ready to destroy small businesses under the guise of, I'm trying to help. He'll do quite the opposite. Wait till you hear what he said yesterday. I don't even think it's constitutional. I don't think it's legal what he's talking about, but we'll talk about it coming up. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Right all along, you can always follow us on YouTube for the time being at Drew Steele Radio, and on Facebook at Drew Steele Radio as well. All right, here's Sabrina Katz with your traffic.
Lots of cars on Daniels Parkway heading east of I-75 towards Treeline Avenue. Also in Estero, the slowdown beginning on Corkscrew Road, getting off of I-75, heading east towards Ben Hill. Ben Hill is still up to speed, though, if you're heading south of Estero Parkway. Also, commuters in Collier County, slowdowns beginning on Immokalee Road, especially heading west towards Logan near Gulf Coast High, as well as delays southbound on 951 just near the East Trail. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
After the cool start, high temperature of 75 degrees, clouds and sunshine with even a few sprinkles possible, especially this morning. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, Weather Authority.
Rush Limbaugh.
Blah, 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 blah. Gear up for the liberal loudmouths at work. Drew Steele, mornings on 92.5 Fox News.
You know, for me personally, one of the things I love about Pentair, my water system in my home, is just peace of mind and the confidence that my family and my friends that come over are going to love the way my water tastes. And that's a good thing. Not just the taste, but the hard water drying out your skin and hair, damaging your appliances. It's a reason why it's doing all of that, because of what's in it. Call now for your free multi-point Pentair water test. Find out what your water's doing in your home. You're going to love the way your water tastes with your new Pentair water system like I I do, and there's a big difference when you call a Pentair water specialist. Well, what is it? They're all trained, uniformed experts in our city and well water, so they know about what's going on here in Southwest Florida. You can have a wide range of water treatment options right in front of you, and they can install your new Pentair water system for you. Pentair has a new Easy Flow under-counter filtration system that is certified to reduce 99% of lead. And right now, you can save 15% on your whole home water system. 239-880-7799 or book online at PelicanWestFL.com.
Being involved in a legal dispute can leave you feeling like you've lost control. I'm Eli Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. Understanding the law and the rules of evidence can mean the difference between winning or losing your case. If you are involved in a legal dispute and are not sure of your options, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Offices Fort Myers and Naples.
Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News 239-479-5592. Tom's in Fort Myers. Wanted to talk a little bit about this situation we have over the weekend. You know, Twitter permanently deleting the president's account on Twitter. He moves over to Gab.com. We have Parler that was taken off of the app stores there on Google and Apple. And now the Amazon Web Services, known as AWS, that hosts Parler, has pulled down Parler as well, to the point now that it is gone for the moment. They're going to have to figure out another way to get to a server, to get back online. It may take a week. It may take a little longer, but make no mistake, tech right now feels emboldened to do what they want, and you've got a party that doesn't have a problem with it. Maybe it's even half the country that doesn't have a problem with it. Tom wanted to comment on this. Hey, Tom.
Well, I want to thank you for what you do. You're a strong voice in the community. We're losing our voices all over. We have already lost the voice of our children, the minds of our children, and where is it going to end? Used to be a very strong Republican, very active in the community. I retired and I stepped back. I can't do that anymore. I have to move forward, get more involved, and implore people to do the same.
Yeah.
I'm not taking down my stickers off my cars. I'm going to voice my opinion loud and clear, and I think we all need to step up.
Well,
We've been very laid back, and it's time to change. If we're not careful, you're going to lose your sponsorships, and your voice will be gone.
Well, Tom, first of all, you make some great points. Let me make a couple of comments. Number one, I would encourage everybody who is listening to the sound of my voice to continue to listen to the sound of my voice right here in this station, because remember, if we begin to go away, your voice goes away as well. And any way that you have to get the truth, to get information, will be in a different place. And it will be very difficult to find that. So I would encourage you to continue to listen and tell others to join in as well. Don't leave us here, number one. Number two, for the longest time, to your point, Tom, we've acquiesced to a lot of different individuals because we were concerned about, well, I don't know what. Was it physical threat, physical harm? Was it just the mental anguish of having to deal with people telling us that we were wrong, that we're no good, that we are fill in the blank, that they told the world, they told the country that this is who you are and what you are, and interpreted you in one way, and we denied it. But what did we do to stop it and show something different? And to your point, you can't now be silent any longer. You have to get out. You have to be concerned about the elected officials in Southwest Florida. You have to deal with the bubble and the people that are in your bubble, your sphere, as I put it. It's less of a bubble, more of a sphere. My son, we homeschool my son. I'm making sure he understands exactly what's going on and what is happening right now in our world, that he knows what's what is going on not only here but around him with his friends and the kind of influence that people have on them, and to be respectful but at the same time understand what's going on. We have to be not to be afraid more than ever to communicate with friends and family about what is happening and to really call them out. I would call family and friends and people out in the community to say to them in the strongest of terms how you possibly could be for this, how you possibly could agree with those that would say that your neighbors, the individuals that live next to you, that have been on your side in the community for the longest time, how all of a sudden, because a couple of politicians or a couple of people are claiming that they're anarchists in some way or that they're domestic terrorists, do you honestly believe that the person that lives next to you right now is that person? Do you honestly believe that? The people that have been around you and that you know better than anybody because they are your next door neighbor, not somebody that's putting a label on them. And Tom, thanks for the call there in Fort Myers. I appreciate it. We'll talk about this more coming up. And Nancy Pelosi said over the weekend, too.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
This is Mike Roberts, Vice President at Mortgage Warehouse, Southwest Florida's mortgage price leader and home of the no closing cost mortgage. No points, no hidden fees, no loan costs, period. If the mortgage you have right now was done prior to COVID-19, you should call us for a free review. At Mortgage Warehouse, we understand how frustrating it can be to make your mortgage payment month after month, and the loan balance just doesn't seem to go down. The payment is mostly interest, but we can help with that. We can combine near record low mortgage rates with our local no closing cost program to improve your mortgage payment right away. You do not have to roll any closing costs into your loan balance to get these ultra low mortgage rates. You can apply online at mortgagewarehouse.com or call 313-5000. That's 313-5000. MortgageWarehouse.com.
Certain restrictions apply. NMLS ID 137154. Equal housing lender.
Let Naples Shutter enhance your home's beauty and increase its value. From our legendary all-wood plantation shutters made right here in Naples for over 40 years, to luxurious blinds and shades, to the unique island appeal of Bahama shutters, Naples Shutter has you covered with a lifetime guarantee and over 40,000 satisfied customers. Call 239-566-8161 today for a free estimate. That's 239-566-8161 or visit naplesshutter.com.
Why would someone take a chance on purchasing a frameless shower door from a big box store or an online discounter of an obscure brand and then try and find a licensed, qualified installer to put it in when you can deal directly with a local, family-owned business that consults, measures, manufactures, and installs their own award-winning brand of shower doors? My Shower Door is a family-owned and operated business and has the highest ratings on Angie's List and Home Advisor. Want to see more? Go to myShowerDoor.com.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 7 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
Only 9 days left for President Trump. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. But Democrats want him out now.
The deranged, unhinged, dangerous President of the United States.
And the U.S. House ready to take action this week. Fox's Rachel Sutherland has more live.
Dave, House Democrats are teeing up a resolution giving Vice President Mike Pence 24 hours to invoke the 25th Amendment. If he doesn't, they'll take up an article of impeachment, incitement of insurrection. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi on CBS 60 Minutes.
He has done something so serious that there should be prosecution against him.
Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz telling Fox News.
This impeachment would be unnecessary. It would be divisive.
Democratic Congressman James Clyburn telling Fox News Sunday a trial may wait until after President-elect Joe Biden's first 100 days in office. Dave?
Rachel, some Republicans either back impeachment or want the president out now as well. Senator Pat Toomey told NBC's Meet the Press.
I actually do believe that the president has disqualified himself.
Calling for him to resign. Now, First Lady Melania Trump just put out a statement condemning last week's Capitol violence, saying the nation must heal in a civil manner. The president's been quiet, silenced on social media with a Twitter ban. The conservative social media site Parler is offline after Apple and Google removed it from app stores. Amazon blocked it on web services over postings said to incite violence. The head of Parler says big tech is trying to destroy his company.
CEO John Mates sharing this statement, quote, "We will likely be down longer than expected. This is not due to software restrictions. We have our data and everyone's software ready to go. Rather, it's that Amazon's, Google's, and Apple's statements to the press about dropping our access has caused most of our other vendors to drop their support as well."
Fox's Jackie Ibanez and President-elect Biden plans to nominate William Burns as CIA director. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, this is a Wink News update.
I'm Lindsay Sablon with Wink News. 68 people arrested for storming the Capitol Wednesday, and one of them is a Naples man. Court documents show Michael Amos was arrested for being on Capitol grounds past the curfew. He appeared in a federal courtroom in D.C. yesterday. Documents say he lives in Milano Lakes in East Naples. Collier County is opening up its registration system today to give out shots next week at the North Collier Regional Park. The Department of Health wants to remind everyone, if you were waitlisted last time, it does not count this time.
Wink News traffic.
Lots of cars on Daniels Parkway heading east of I-75 towards Treeline Avenue. Also in Estero, the slowdown beginning on Corkscrew Road, getting off of I-75, heading east towards Ben Hill. Ben Hill is still up to speed, though, if you're heading south of Estero Parkway. Also, commuters in Collier County, slowdowns beginning on Immokalee Road, especially heading west towards Logan near Gulf Coast High, as well as delays southbound on 951 just near the East Trail. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For your Monday, clouds and sunshine. Even a few sprinkles are possible, but nothing too widespread. High temperatures today in the mid-70s, a notch warmer than what we had over the weekend. More 70s for the entire work week with a few isolated showers Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then by late Friday into Saturday morning, we are going to see another chance of rain with a cold front. That will be reinforcing another chilly weekend. Highs only in the 60s, lows in the 40s by Sunday morning with a chance of rain by Martin Luther King Jr. Day. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
More delightful than driving a convertible Bentley while wearing mink underpants. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We sell more low-mileage cars and trucks than anyone in Southwest Florida because we have more. Over 300 vehicles in stock with locations in Fort Myers and Tampa. See for yourself at lee-cars.com.
Lee Auto Group is looking for quality pre-owned vehicles. Let them make your buying or selling experience easy and safe. Contact Lee Auto Group at 239-288-7374 or visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash. Are you ready to embark on your healthcare journey? At Millennium Physician Group, we want you, our patient, to be in good health always. That's why we created our Destination Health New Patient Program. It's all about partnering with your primary care provider to achieve the best healthcare outcome for you. Now, are you ready for the journey of your life? Connect with Millennium Physician Group and be on your way to Destination Health. Call 844-CALL-MPG. 844-CALL-MPG, millenniumphysician.com.
Hey, Dave, what's going on with your sink? It's full of water.
Really slow to drain.
You tried all the...
Yes, I've tried all the...
Just asking.
Yeah, it gets worse and worse.
So maybe...
Now the downstairs sink is slow, too. I don't dare flush the toilet.
Dave?
What's the point of having running water if it doesn't run out again?
Dave...
I might as well give up on indoor plumbing completely, build an outhouse, and haul water up from the river in a bucket!
Dave! So, what's the best-case scenario?
Best case? Okay, I make one call, someone comes out and gets the water moving again, and things go back to normal.
That's best?
Well, yeah, but...
That's best. Best Home Services. They have 4 plumbing trucks standing by, waiting for last-minute calls.
Right now?
Right now.
I don't need to build an outhouse?
It's a little chilly this time of year.
GetBest.com.
when something goes wrong, we're waiting.
Indoor plumbing is a miracle, isn't it?
Yeah, only when it's working.
Oh, man.
From the Fox News Podcasts Network. Stay on top of the latest news and information from Fox News. Listen and download the Fox News Hourly Update on your time. The trending stories you need anytime you want it. Listen and download now by going to foxnewspodcasts.com. From the Fox News Podcasts Network. Download Perino and Steyerwalt. I'll tell you what.
You know, there's all sorts of ways you could have explained it away. I did more for this country in 4 years than any president had ever done in 8 years. You know, you won't have me to kick around anymore, but I did all of this, and it was the Chinese flu that brought us down, and good luck with Sleepy Joe. I'm out of here. That would have been one way to exit.
Subscribe and listen now by going to foxnewspodcasts.com. The Fox News Rundown is a weekday morning podcast that dives deep into the major and controversial stories of the day. Hosted by the anchors of Fox News Radio. Subscribe now to hear a perspective of news you won't find anywhere else. Listen now by going to foxnewspodcasts.com.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Hey, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. We stream live for the time being on YouTube at Drew Steele Radio, for Facebook for the time being at Drew Steele Radio. If you would like to watch this program, we always appreciate you tuning in there. Hey, we know that Big Tech has decided that they are going to shut down Parler. They did it. They said they were going to take the president off Twitter. They did it. What else could be next? MAGA rallies, domestic terrorist events. No, I'm not kidding. There are House Democrats and some senators, one in particular, Dick Durbin, who was talking about that very thing. Do you see how far this goes? And one of the things that we've talked about in the past is that the left in this country has absolutely no desire to move on. They have no desire to just say, all right, well, I guess you learned now that the president is not going to be reelected for another 4 years. So now we'll put our policies in place and we'll just start to move on as a country and we'll start to regroup because we're Americans. No. It doesn't work that way. That's not at all what anybody is saying. And that's part of the problem as well, which is because of the events that we have seen taking place, that now we are getting a clear view of exactly what the left wants to do in this country, how far they're willing to go, how far politicians on the left are willing to go, and quite frankly, how many of you that are listening to the sound of my voice right now, there are Democrats, liberals that listen to this program who seem to think it's fine to justify all of this. Like you believe this. Like you believe that the neighbor that lives next door to you that has been there for the longest time, that's somebody that you love and appreciate for years and years, that has played and grown up with your children as well, that you've gotten along with, that you've been at many community functions with, that somehow now, as Trump supporters, and you were not a Trump supporter, that somehow now that individual that has grown up with your kids, that lives next door to you, that you know intimately well, somehow because the left in this media, in this country, and politicians tell you that that person now is a domestic terrorist, that what, you're going to listen to them? Hear me out. This is important. You know, you were the same people who had police officers living next door to you, while everybody was calling for defunding to police, while over the summer there was looting and rioting and destruction and saying some of the most vile, awful things about police officers, someone, like I said, that lives right next door to you, that is part of your community, that may be part of your family in a lot of ways, that grew up with your children, were raised alongside with your kids and everything, and all of a sudden now you believe that they're evil? The same way that now all of a sudden you believe that because somebody supported the president of the United States and the things that he accomplished in those 4 years and wanted to see more than that, that somehow now, because they had a MAGA rally or showed up to one, that when Dick Durbin says that this is domestic terrorism, MAGA rallies, that you all of a sudden are now going to side with them instead of the person that you know? Do you see that? That makes sense to you? Tell me. 239-479-5592. I'm pleading. I'm begging for you liberals, Democrats that listen to the sound of my voice to please call this station and explain to me how you feel like Parler being taken off the planet for the time being, eliminating a competitor to Twitter, a place where people can express themselves, free speech, how taking that down is a good thing. What are you afraid of? Oh, they're going to, they spread words of violence and propaganda. Do you understand that there are laws that these private companies have to adhere to where there was any kind of call for violence or any kind of activities like that? Maybe I need to quote it exactly from Section 230. Obscene, lewd, lascivious, filthy, excessively violent, harassing. Do you understand that the laws already dictate that if that is there on the platform, that has to be removed, and they do remove that? It's the part where in Section 230 that it says, or otherwise objectionable, that all of a sudden gets into a really gray area. And again, are we really going to do this? This idea that private company, it's a private company, Twitter's a private company, they can do whatever they want. No, they can't. They still live under the rules of Section 230. They can't do whatever they want. They can't discriminate against women, for example, and decide that we don't want women on this platform. Are you kidding me? They can't discriminate that way. There's lots of things that private businesses can't do. So stop with that. That is ridiculous, that notion. So how do you run with that? I guess you run with that because you have a party that is convincing you that that's the way to go. Now, you may say, well, what are you talking about? You can't even give me an example of the future president of the United States, Joe Biden, who might be calling for, as we speak, not only polarizing the country, but prioritizing certain individuals over others. Maybe being overtly on the side of one race or gender as opposed to another. That's an outrageous statement, Drew. Can you prove it? Yeah, I think so.
Our focus will be on small businesses on Main Street that aren't wealthy and well-connected, that are facing real economic hardships through no fault of their own. Our priority will be Black, Latino, Asian, and Native American-owned small businesses, women-owned businesses, and finally having equal access to resources needed to reopen and rebuild.
Excuse me? Wait. So that is the future president of the United States, Joe Biden, who's telling us we all need to come together and we're all one as Americans, who is telling everyone that the priority for small businesses is going to be Black, Latino, Asian, and Native American-owned small businesses, women-owned businesses, and finally having equal access to resources needed to reopen and rebuild. Is there a big block of individuals that's being excluded right there? Can you do that? Can you do that? You talk about conflict between individuals. How do you create that? You do it by saying things like, I mean, that's outrageous. Identity politics? Is that what we're going to play here? Is that how this is going to work? I mean, it's bad enough that Joe Biden is saying we need to have across-the-board minimum $15 an hour wage nationally, and then at the same time say that we're going to protect the small businesses that need the help so much. Do you not understand that economically speaking, it's already been proven that your $15 an hour minimum wage is going to hurt those very small businesses that you claim to want to help? That the ones that can handle that kind of increase are the large corporations that can suck up that kind of thing, where where you already have businesses that are proud to tell you, like I think, is it Amazon and others? We pay our employees $15. Of course you can, because you're a behemoth, because you also have the power to take Parler completely off the planet. You have that kind of money. Small, struggling businesses don't. 239-479-5592. All right, let's take a break right now. And when we come back, we've got Jack in Cape Coral. We've got Dave in Naples. We've got your phone calls. I would love to hear from you, 239-479-5592. What am I missing here? Maybe you want to comment on Parler's shutdown. Maybe you want to comment on what you just heard from the future president of the United States, Joe Biden, who's picking certain individuals by race and gender over others in this country. I thought we don't do that. Stay break 92.5 Fox News. Let's find out what's happening with traffic up to the minute. Here's Sabrina Katz.
The crash at Palm Beach Boulevard and River Hall Parkway is still active, but delays decreased quite a bit. So now just a tap on the brakes as you're heading westbound towards Buckingham Road. However, if you are heading out to Lehigh Senior High, there's a crash at Gunnery Road and 15th Street West. This is delaying traffic southbound, starting from around Buckingham Road all the way to Lee Boulevard. Very congested area. Avoid it if you can. You can always stick to Alvin Avenue to avoid this as well. Also, the interstate is up to speed, but we do have that crash at mile marker 133 heading southbound. This is just off to the side of the highway. No backups as of right now. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News next.
Wink Weather Authority.
After the cool start, high temperature of 75 degrees, clouds and sunshine with even a few sprinkles possible, especially this morning. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
92.5 Fox News, making Southwest Florida great every day. 92.5 Fox News.
After a car accident, you can feel like you've lost control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Andrew Levine. Our team can help you understand your legal options after an accident. We will file your claim and fight for the full compensation you deserve. If you've been involved in a car accident, call the law offices of Andrew Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Offices Fort Myers and Naples.
January is National Organization Month. Yep, there's a National Organization Month. And of course, it should be now at the start of the year. A fresh chance to create a little more time, sense, and peace in your everyday.
And that is what our master designers at Closet Factory specialize in. Whether it's your closet, home office, or any part of your home that could be more wonderfully, time-savingly organized, discover how simple getting more can be.
Talk to Closet Factory, give us a call, or visit closetfactory.com.
How many client portfolios is your investment advisor responsible for? Is yours one of hundreds? Or perhaps your financial institution has just been acquired by yet another firm, and the team you've known for years is suddenly gone. At the Sanibel Captiva Trust Company and its division, the Naples Trust Company, our portfolio management team is local and care for a proper ratio of account relationships designed to give you the highest possible attention and an asset allocation that is best for you and your goals. Another key factor is that all of our employees are owners in the trust company through an employee stock ownership plan. So we have no interest in being acquired, and more importantly, we have a vested interest in seeing our clients as happy as we are. Are you ready for a better experience? Contact us at the Sanibel Captiva Trust Company or the Naples Trust Company. Visit sancaptrustco.com to discover the difference.
Not FDIC insured. All investments involve risk and are not guaranteed.
So, you're in the market for new appliances. You have a choice. You can chase around sizing up refrigerators, opening oven doors, poking your nose into top-load washers, while wondering if the quality meets your standards and the prices are fair. Or you can go to Good Deals Appliances. Starting at Good Deals Appliances makes all the sense in the world. They feature the top names in appliances like JennAir, KitchenAid, Whirlpool, Maytag, and Amana. But the best part about shopping at Good Deals Appliances is their price guarantee. If you ever find a lower price on the same appliance, Jay and his team at Good Deals Appliances will beat it. Every time, guaranteed. When you need appliances, make your first stop your last stop. Good Deals Appliances. 3 locations to serve you. 41 at Gladiolus in Fort Myers, Pine Island Road in Cape Coral, and on Naples Boulevard near Lowe's and Costco in Naples.
Good deals.
and says, have we got a deal for you?
Attention, Southwest Florida. Are you ready for this? Only Naples Nissan has been authorized to continue offering the full original MSRP for your trade-in. The factory warned us to end the offer, but after record-breaking sales in 2020, we've been approved to continue running it. If your trade-in is a 2014 or newer with less than 80,000 miles on it, regardless of where you purchased it from, only Naples Nissan will pay you the full original base MSRP for it so you can drive home in a brand new Nissan. Hundreds of new Nissan models to choose from, all backed by our exclusive unlimited mile lifetime warranty. Pick out your favorite and get full details at naplesnissan.com today. Offers on select models with approved credit and cannot be combined.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. All right, so what's Nancy Pelosi planning? Well, let's just put it this way. Officially launching the second Trump impeachment and will activate the 25th Amendment. So she's going all out.
Bowl of doggy do.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I feel about that. I'm wondering what you think. 239-479-5592. Let's go to Jack. Jack's in Cape Coral, been holding patiently through the break. Hey, Jack.
Hey, Drew. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, I don't even know where to start. I mean, again, I called earlier. I mean, in the evening drive, I was born in Poland, and I'm looking at this, and I'm completely stunned. I'm absolutely stunned where we are right now, and I'm thinking about, yep, that's how it is today. When I woke up in Poland one day, and we had to go vote for one candidate with no opposition running, and we had 100% turnout. It's ridiculous. I don't even know where to begin. We lost totally country. We lost the freedom of speech. Now they're going to go after the Second Amendment, and it's going to take a spark, but seems like people became completely numb to what's going on around them. I had a conversation with one of my coworkers regarding this about a week ago. She became totally fired up. She just blamed Trump for all the problems we have right now, and I'm like, how do I even start? Where do I even start to explain, to get to someone to, without even having a fired conversation, just a conversation. There's no even talking. You just get hate speeches back, and now they completely silence the conservatives. I mean, you're talking about Mike Huckabee. We're talking about Newt Gingrich on Parler. We're not even talking about Trump on Parler.
Yeah.
Those were conservatives. Those were Christian conservatives, and they basically pulled the plug on that without any kind of hesitation. I mean, if they can do this to you.
Well, let me try to turn this into a positive here, if we can.
I don't know how.
Okay, well, let me do this, because you could tell me better than anyone else. What's it like there now?
In Poland?
Yeah.
Well, Poland became a really decent country right now, but they keep their own conservative values over there right now. They have a few party system, and they are doing well, but they resisted the United Europe pressure for bringing the migrants to Poland.
Yeah.
Taking money from the United Europe Bank.
Yeah.
They resisted all that, and they don't have the same thing what's going on in Germany and France right now, or Spain.
So then, Jack, I wonder if that is a tale that we should kind of tuck away.
But do you know what led into it? I mean, it wasn't pretty what led into it.
No, I do understand that part of it. And certainly, I see even, for example, in Poland, they've got a $2 million fine for social media companies that censor posts on legal speech. They are doing things. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is if we're trying to find something on the other side, it's the individuals, and as a country, and certainly at least half the country, if not more, maybe more, because there are people that don't want to say anything right now. But I think as time moves on, once you look at months going by and the president's no longer in office, he's putting out things on Gab, let's just say, messages on Gab, and there are those that want to be able to look at the policies that he put in place and try to strengthen that side of it, that sooner or later that the left in this country is going to have to find someplace else and somewhere else to go to attack those that of.
I think there's a different issue here too. I mean, look at the first 2 years of Republicans being under President Trump.
Yeah,
they couldn't find a common ground for the first 2 years. They had all tools
You're right.
to make changes, and they haven't done any of them. They started arguing between each other.
Yeah, and I might even make the case to you as well, Jack, to your point, and you're right on, that even early on in 2017, there were those that were believing the Russia collusion hoax, that were going right along with it and not doing their job. And listen, we've got to take a break, and thanks for the call, Jack, and your perspective. I really, really appreciate it. Call anytime. That they didn't stand up, and we have to recognize who those individuals were and are. And we need to make sure we're nurturing candidates to bring to D.C. that are conservative, true conservatives.
92.5 Fox News.
Dial star 2020. France Eye Care.
Trey Radel, your host of The Drive here. France Eye Care, giving you a reason to smile in 2021 with a state-of-the-art laser vision correction procedure that's easy on the eyes. Dr. France and his team of expert surgeons are the first practice in Southwest Florida to bring you what's called the SMILE procedure, the latest technology in laser vision correction. SMILE is a lot like LASIK, but with a smaller incision and no flap. And a smaller incision means minimal interruption to the nerves on the eyes. And you're not going to get dry eye. I had my LASIK done at France Eye Care. You should too. It is a fantastic team, and what they did absolutely, undoubtedly changed my life. So, to see if you qualify, schedule your free SMILE screening at France Eye Care today. Just dial star 2020 from your mobile phone. Financing is available and it's affordable. Give them a call today. Star 2020.
France Eye Care.
If you're moving, selling, or purchasing furniture and need help getting it home, there are a lot of moving companies to choose from. But wait, all moving companies are not created equal. Sure, if you're moving your college students' furniture, hiring young movers is fine. But if you're moving highly valued items, you need Rice's Moving and Transport. They meticulously pad wrap everything and secure your valuables and gently pack, transport, and set them up. Rice's Moving and Transport employs skilled professional movers who respect your belongings, not just young hunks who can lift heavy things. Moving is stressful enough. Don't stress about hiring the right moving company. Here's what Teresa in Naples said about Rice's Moving and Transport. I was so impressed when your moving crew came to my home. They politely introduced themselves by name. Seems small, but it made an impression. When you need help moving, trust Rice's Moving and Transport. Rice'sMoving.net, moving you into the future.
It's Fox Wheels.
Tesla is reportedly in talks with some record labels to create its own music streaming service that some think could be integrated into Tesla's infotainment system. Recode reports that sources aren't clear about Tesla's ambitions, but believe that it's interested in offering multiple tiers of service, starting with a Pandora-like web radio offering. Japanese electronics giant Panasonic, which recently partnered with Tesla on solar roof tiles, is producing solar cells for cars and expected to be rolled out on Toyota's latest Prius plug-in hybrid. The company tells Auto News that car roofs have the potential to become a new market for solar panels. A recent insurance study shows that collision claims in Colorado, Washington, and Oregon have gone up 2.7% in the years since legal recreational pot sales began. That compared to other states. That's Fox Wheels. I'm Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
I'm Chris Foster. The House is set to vote on impeaching President Trump again over last week's riot at the Capitol.
He has done something so serious that there should be prosecution against him.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi tells CBS 60 Minutes the president is responsible for inciting the riot. Florida Republican Matt Gaetz tells Fox.
This impeachment would be unnecessary. It would be divisive.
Speaker Pelosi will introduce a resolution today calling on Vice President Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment to remove the president through a majority vote of his cabinet. Sources in his office have told Fox, though, he's not going to do that. The conservative social media app Parler is offline, booted by Amazon's hosting service over users' threats of violence and illegal activity. CEO John Mates tells Fox.
They're doing it, to stifle free speech and competition in the marketplace. And this could happen to literally anybody.
America's listening to Fox News.
This break is sponsored by Cornerstone Builders. Give us the opportunity to wow you.
Wink News traffic.
The crash at Palm Beach Boulevard and River Hall Parkway is still active, but delays decreased quite a bit. So now just a tap on the brakes as you're heading westbound towards Buckingham Road. However, if you are heading out to Lehigh Senior High, there's a crash at Gunnery Road and 15th Street West. This is delaying traffic southbound starting from around Buckingham Road all the way to Lee Boulevard. Very congested area. Avoid it if you can. You can always stick to Alvin Avenue to avoid this as well. Also, the interstate is up to speed, but we do have that crash at mile marker 133 heading southbound. This is just off to the side of the highway. No backups as of right now. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For your Monday, clouds and sunshine. Even a few sprinkles are possible, but nothing too widespread. High temperatures today in the mid-70s, much warmer than what we had over the weekend. More 70s for the entire work week with a few isolated showers Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then by late Friday into Saturday morning, we are going to see another chance of rain with a cold front. That will be reinforcing another chilly weekend. Highs only in the 60s, lows in the 40s by Sunday morning with a chance of rain by Martin Luther King Jr. Day. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
When your liberal relatives from up north come for a month, turn up 92.5 Fox News in the house, in the car, and on the radio at the beach. 92.5 Fox News. Run all along.
You want a new look for your kitchen, but you really dread the thought of subjecting your home and family to the mess and fuss created by weeks of remodeling? Cornerstone Builders has the solution. They can give your kitchen an entirely new look in a matter of days, not weeks. Stand by for the phone number to schedule your free in-home consultation. Cornerstone will save you a lot of time and thousands of dollars with a custom kitchen reface. This 4-step process includes 15 cabinet doors, 5 drawer fronts, and includes relaminating your cabinet exteriors, plus new hinges and new knobs or handles. Best part? The price. Just $38.20 for a beautiful thermofoil reface or $78.20 for maple wood reface. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation. 239-332-3020. That's 332-3020. 239-332-3020. Cornerstone Builders in Fort Myers, Naples, and Marco Island with 30 years and 22,000 satisfied customers. You know they're gonna wow you.
Hey, it's Jake DeMolino here from Daybreak to talk about AMCO of Bonita Springs. Everyone's been affected by the pandemic, and I was definitely no exception. But here's the thing. I had an issue, a well-known issue. Kevin and Todd came to the rescue, effectively giving me my life back. They put their expertise to work on my transmission that was completely shot. His master mechanic told me that it was probably the worst transmission he's seen in his 30 years of working. And let me tell you, he knocked it out of the park. He helped me, and I'm sure he can help you as well. AMCO of Bonita Springs has been trusted in Southwest Florida since 2008. They've been through pandemics, recessions, you name it. They're located right off of Burnwood Drive in Bonita, an independent, conservative AMCO dealer whose award-winning customer service speaks for itself. They work on all makes and models, and they don't just do transmissions. They can do oil changes, normal maintenance, tires, you name it. For those of you out there with classic cars, there's no one I could trust more than Kevin and Todd with something I know you cherish and is so near and dear to you. So give Kevin and Todd a call at AMCO Bonita Springs. 239-992-2626. 239-992-2626. A big thank you from Jake the Millennial for AMCO Bonita Springs.
You probably know Lusk, Dray Sites, and Talisano for car accidents and other personal injury matters. But did you know they have attorneys who specialize in many other areas of the law? Whether you're in need of creating or updating your will and testament, or need advice about divorce or child custody, they have an attorney for you. And unlike the all-too-familiar competitors, at Lusk, Dray Sites, and Talisano, you'll be meeting directly with the attorney handling your matter, not some coordinator or case manager looking to increase their numbers. Lusk, Dray Sites, and Talisano. They've been serving you for over 35 years. Have a family law question? Are you seeking a divorce or have child custody issues you need resolved? Do you need assistance with dividing property? At Lusk, Drasites, and Tolosano, their attorneys can walk you through this difficult process as the needed advocate to protect your legal rights. They've been here for you in the past, they're here today, and will be here for you tomorrow. LDTlaw.com. Offices Cape Coral, Fort Myers, Naples.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Daybreak 92.5 Fox News 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. So we're going to get to your calls. I see Joe and Robbie. We got an open line right now. If you want to be part of the program, love to hear from you today. We stream live for the time being on YouTube and Facebook, both at Drew Steele Radio. So if you subscribe, that would be, hey, listen, it's okay. It's a good thing. So we can keep that going. A couple of things of note. Hey, listen, if there are certain individuals that don't understand that even according to the CDC data and what we have here in the state of Florida, that we rank somewhere near 23rd to 25th when it comes to per capita cases out of 100,000 and deaths in cases. We are well below the top 3, top 5, top 10, but you would never know it. Because there are certain individuals that want to make you feel like Florida is the worst place to be on the planet, and the governor, of course, is the worst governor ever to hit the ground running, and that would be Governor DeSantis, because, you know, we're in 2022. 2022 election starts right now. So there are going to be people that do that and maybe not focus on the other side. Like a couple of things. Number one, Evan Brown, Fox News Radio, tweeted this out from the Times-Union. After months of furor from mourning families, the administration of Governor Andrew Cuomo has concealed records about those nursing homes. Remember how positive cases way back when had to go back to nursing homes, thus, well, you can fill in the blank how awful that was, and we all know it, but now we have some information here from the Times-Union that would suggest that they have been concealing records behind all of this. You don't get a whole lot of transparency out of places like New York, but you get a lot of love. You get magazines, you get all kinds of pats on the back, you get attaboys, you get, hey, the possibility that he could be part of a Joe Biden administration, right? Not a joke.
Not a joke.
Nope. Even Joe says it. And now we come to find out from the New York Times, of all places, that, hey, we might want to talk about this. After unused vaccines are thrown in the trash, Andrew Cuomo decides to loosen rules. Thrown in the trash? Now employees who interact with the public, including pharmacy cashiers, qualify. It was the second time in 2 days that the state amended its rules. So what is this about? Anybody want to be disgusted at the fact that this story from the New York Times comes out, where there's a quote in the story that says they had been forced to throw out, New York, precious vaccine doses. They threw them out because they had difficulties finding patients who matched precisely with the state's strict vaccination guidelines and the steep penalties they would face had they made a mistake, because all in the eyes of equity, because we have to have an equitable distribution. So they couldn't give them to the most vulnerable like we're doing here. They couldn't give them to first-line responders like we've been doing here. They couldn't do that and understand where the need was the most in the moment and who were the most affected. No. They had to do it equitably. In other words, they were being very PC. They were making sure that certain people couldn't be ahead of other people. And you can imagine what equity means when it comes to distribution of vaccines. It means that if we can't find the individuals and we can't do this by the rules, by the way, hospitals understanding that if for some reason they had these doses and they're like, listen, I got people in the hospital. I got plenty of people I can give them to right now. My choice is to either throw them away and not give them out, or give them to individuals that need it, let's say somebody over the age of 65, and be fined $1 million. Or was it $2 million per case? What do you do? Remind me how Florida's such an awful place. Remind me how terrible the state of Florida is. Remind me how being 25th when it comes to per capita deaths, cases, what's happening here in the state. Remind me how we're the focus. Well, that's because there's an agenda, just like everything else. Just like taking people off of free speech platforms, just like taking down free speech platforms. Why do you do that? What are you so afraid of? You know, there was a time not too long ago where there was some people that I know, friends of mine, who were mocking those who were getting off of Twitter and going to Parler because they were concerned about free speech and the loss of their speech, and they were being mocked by these people. Like, go ahead, good, go to your echo chamber, go ahead and do you not realize? I'm sorry, I find it funny. Do you realize that when Twitter purges conservative voices, you're creating an echo chamber? I'm just putting that out there. You might want to think before you tweet. You might also want to think before you put stuff out on Facebook. Take a step back and realize what you're saying. If your hatred towards one individual, that being Donald Trump, is so deep, why do you want to attack every institution that we hold dear in the United States, like freedom of speech, freedom to assemble? Listen, the freedom to assemble is getting ready to be attacked as well, as we come to find out this morning again that apparently there are some Democrats, including Senator Durbin, that are planning to draft legislation to classify MAGA rallies as domestic terrorist activity and require the FBI, DOJ, and DHS to take steps to prevent such domestic terrorism. That's very real, that thought. All of you that hate the president so much, are you okay with that? You think that's okay? That MAGA rallies, where family members of yours and neighbors of yours and got together to support a candidate and to support a president, you really honestly think that was domestic terror? Do you honestly think that? People that you know. 239-479-5592. By the way, I know we got to go to calls because I see a lot of people. Well, let's just go to the calls. What the heck? Let's go to Joe in Cape Coral. Joe wanted to weigh in on everything that's taking place, whether it's Parler being deplatformed, taken off of the interwebs thanks to Amazon Web Services, whether it's Nancy Pelosi who's saying, hey, everybody, just want to let you know that it's coming, officially launching the second Trump impeachment and activating the 25th Amendment. Oh, we are going to do whatever we have to do to destroy this president. And by the way, those that supported him as well. Joe, your thoughts?
Good morning, Drew.
Morning, sir.
On Thursday, you had Byron Donalds on, and he said something that just hit me like a ton of bricks. Mm-hmm. And this is the problem with all of our leaders. He said, I don't care how the people feel, violence is not the answer. And I understand violence is not the answer, but he definitely should care how the people feel. We've made our voices quite loud. 74 million people plus made their voices quite clear. And they're still not listening. They say they hear us, but they're still not listening. So I can't understand how we just let a government that we did not vote for, a socialist government at that, come in and just walk right in. I just don't get it. We can have our military go out and fight all over the country to protect freedoms of tyrannical governments, but yet we can't do that here in America. I mean, we're adults. We understand that war is not a good thing, but it is sometimes a necessary thing.
Yeah.
And we keep getting our rights trampled every single day, and nobody is doing anything.
Well,
I mean, there's three words. There's three words in our Constitution that are very important, and those are the first three words, and that is "we the people," and that means that we the people have the power, not the government, not the Supreme Court, not Congress.
Yeah.
And the reason that works is because we the people allow ourselves to be governed.
Yeah.
And I think it's time. I think it's time we put our foot down and said enough is enough.
Well, a couple of things to that, Joe. And listen, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. And I understand your passion and what you're saying. You know, a couple of things to Joe's point. I think he's right. In a lot of ways, we've ceded a lot to the left in this country for way too long. We ceded power to tech companies that now are starting to wield that power because they have a willing left that that likes what they're doing in stifling free speech and some of the other things that are going on. I think for the longest time with our politicians, we ceded a lot of the ground to them because, hey, they have an R after their name, and it's the best of two evils. What are you going to do? I mean, no, we didn't fight for those that were fighting for us. Instead, we just kind of let certain individuals get in to office and just believed that they were going to do the right thing, and when they didn't, we were just like, oh, well, they're a consistent vote. Are they really? So I understand that. I also know, and I also have talked to people about this, and people have said to me that when you feel like your legal system is failing you, when the Constitution is people are doing things against the Constitution, and you can't even get the Supreme Court to see it and side with you, and you can't get that taken care of through legal means and all the means that everybody has been telling us for the longest time that needs to happen, and we can't be like the other side. People still get frustrated because then they don't know what else to do. They don't know where else to go. And and this person was explaining to me that sometimes they do things that they would not normally do because we trust a system that is going to be there to help us and support us when we see something that is wrong, like going against the Constitution. And if we don't have that, then what do we have? And what do we do? 239-479-5592. Robbie's in Naples. Hey, Robbie, how are you this morning?
Hi, I'm doing fine. How are you, Drew?
I'm okay. What's on your mind?
Well, I'm going back to your one question you've repeated several times, like, what are they afraid of? Why is there this rush to impeach a president or to apply the 25th Amendment to a man that's literally, supposedly, going to be out of office in less than 2 weeks? Well, I think it boils down to three things. One, they don't want him running in 24.
Right.
Two, it's vengeful. It's just pure revenge because they're still so mad they lost. They can't get over it. And three, fear. They're just like Nancy meeting with those generals, afraid he's going to nuke some country. That's not what she was afraid of. She's afraid of the fact he's going to declassify things and expose things that they don't want exposed. For instance, did you see where WikiLeaks dumped a bunch of files, including the Hillary Clinton emails now over the weekend? Attorney Lincoln Wood tweeted out all of what Trump is planning and doing, and then we have.
Well, let me stop you there for a second, Robbie, because I'm just looking at the clock, and I just and I understand where you're going, but before we go to that place, let's just understand and let's focus on a couple of things that are specific. Number one, we have to figure out whether or not everybody in this country is on board with the idea of stifling free speech, and then when somebody says, well, it's not stifling free speech because this is somebody that was calling for an insurrection, I need you to tell me where in Trump's speech did he call for an insurrection. I need that. So, in other words, you can't be satisfied with somebody giving you an answer and then leaving it at that, knowing that and believing that it's not true. And listen, Robbie, I appreciate the call. Thanks so much in Naples. You can't just do that. You have to question, for example, when the president at the rally in Washington, D.C., literally said in that hour time period where everybody is focusing on the president and saying that his words were an insurrection and he was calling for people to bash down the walls and make their way to certain individuals there in the Capitol, when the president literally says,
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Peacefully and patriotically. Peacefully and patriotically, doing exactly what many, many, many people have done for years and decades. They march to the Capitol and they peacefully protest. The majority of people were prepared to do that. There were some individuals that didn't. And nobody is suggesting that that was a good thing to do that, especially against law enforcement that you say that you support, to do something that they did. Certainly nobody would back that up as far as being violent. You don't do that. We don't do that. But that doesn't get heard. Nobody talks about that portion of, because they do what Twitter did. And what did Twitter do? I mean, can we just be honest for a minute? And again, if you're listening to the sound of my voice and you're somebody that's trying to support the idea of stifling free speech, and you think that it's a good idea that not only people get off Twitter and get onto Parler, but you think it's a great idea that Parler was deplatformed completely, no cloud service there, Amazon taking them down, and then Apple and Google come along and say you can't get the app either. Like somehow you think that's a positive, and before you were like, yeah, go over there to Parler, go ahead to your echo chamber. We're not even realizing that as you eliminate conservative voices on Twitter, you're creating the same thing you're claiming that those who care about free speech are doing, which is just silly at best. I can think of harsher words, but I won't go there. But that when you understand, again, that the reasons why Twitter took the president permanently off of the platform was because they decided to interpret his words the way that they thought and what they felt like he was saying, as opposed to what actually came out of his mouth. Let me explain once again in case you missed it. Twitter admits that right after the president tweeted these two words, or these two sentences, that this was the reason why they took him off the platform. His first tweet was on January 8th, where he said the 75 million great American patriots who voted for me, America first, and make America great again will have a giant voice long into the future. They will not be disrespected or treated unfairly in any way, shape, or form. Now you see that paragraph and you say, well, the inciting of violence, and how would that be a bad thing? What is it? Well, Twitter literally said in their explanation, in their reasoning, that the words, the quote, the use of the words American patriots to describe some of his supporters is also being interpreted as support for those committing violent acts at the U.S. Capitol. Excuse me? The mention of his supporters having a giant voice long into the future, and that, quote, they will not be disrespected or treated unfairly in any way, shape, or form, is being interpreted as further indication that President Trump does not plan to facilitate an orderly transition, and instead that he plans to continue to support, empower, and shield those who believe he won the election. So you decided that you're going to interpret the president's words, even though that's not what he said. So that was your reasoning. How do you do that? How does Twitter get away with doing that? Well, they get away with doing it because Section 30 says, Section 230 specifically says that voluntarily restricting access or availability of material that they would consider to be obscene, lewd, lascivious, filthy, excessively violent, harassing, or otherwise objectionable. Hey, we find this otherwise objectionable. The language there is way too vague. But at a time when they wanted the growth of the internet to be the focus, that language should have been taken out a long, long time ago, and it didn't happen. And that's part of the reason why they get away with this. But now that they have, I'm asking you, 239-479-5592. Does this make you feel good? Are you satisfied with this? Hey, if you're a Democrat, I'd love to hear from you right now. All right, let's take a break, Jake. And when we come back, we'll take your calls, get your thoughts. More on this coming up. It's Daybreak 92.5, Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News. There's the left's way, and then there's the right way. 92.5 Fox News.
Southwest Florida's mortgage price leader and home of the no closing cost mortgage. No points, no hidden fees, no loan costs, period. If the mortgage you have right now was done prior to COVID-19, you should call us for a free review. At Mortgage Warehouse, we understand how frustrating it can be to make your mortgage payment month after month, and the loan balance just doesn't seem to go down. The payment is mostly interest, but we can help with that. We can combine near record low mortgage rates with our local no closing cost program to improve your mortgage payment right away. You do not have to roll any closing costs into your loan balance to get these ultra low mortgage rates. You can apply online at mortgagewarehouse.com or call 313-5000. That's 313-5000. MortgageWarehouse.com.
Certain restrictions apply. NMLS ID 137154. Equal housing lender.
How do you turn your $600 stimulus into the $2,000 you deserve? Just get the New Year Sutherland Stimulus. Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral are turning your $600 into $2,000. It's the best way to kick off the new year. Get incredible incentives to buy a new Nissan right now, like 0% APR financing. That's right, folks. And when you buy today, you make 0 payments until next year, 2022. Bring us your old car and get up to $10,000 more than its value. Plus, we'll turn your $600 stimulus money into $2,000. You get the money you deserve, not $600, but the full $2,000. That's the New Year's Sutherland Stimulus. Drive new and get more money for your stimulus and trade. $10,000 more for your trade, along with 0% APR, but only for a limited time. Start 2021 at Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral right now. Shop online at nissansales.com. Or CapeCoralNissan.com. If it doesn't say Sutherland, you paid too much. See dealer for details.
We've been waiting for COVID-19 vaccines to be developed. Now, waiting for them to get to us. But you can do more than wait. You have powerful ways to help slow the spread right now and protect your family and loved ones too. Here's how. Watch your distance. Stay at least 6 feet away from folks you don't live with. It's risky to be indoors with them, too. And, of course, avoid crowds. Also, wear a mask. CDC reports masks protect the people who wear them and folks around them. And wash your hands using soap and water for 20 seconds. And do it frequently. Vaccines won't make COVID go away overnight, but they give us a real chance to finally overcome it. As long as we keep watching our distance, wearing our masks, and washing our hands.
Learn more about vaccines at cdc.gov/coronavirus. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
If you're moving, selling, or purchasing furniture and need help getting it home, there are a lot of moving companies to choose from. But wait, all moving companies are not created equal. Sure, if you're moving your college students' furniture, hiring young movers is fine. But if you're moving highly valued items, you need Rice's Moving and Transport. They meticulously pad wrap everything and secure your valuables and gently pack, transport, and set them up. Rice's Moving and Transport employs skilled professional movers who respect your belongings, not just young hunks who can lift heavy things. Moving is stressful enough. Don't stress about hiring the right moving company. Here's what Teresa in Naples said about Rice's Moving and Transport. I was so impressed when your moving crew came to my home. They politely introduced themselves by name. Seems small, but it made an impression. When you need help moving, trust Rice's Moving and Transport. Rice'sMoving.net, moving you into the future.
Let Naples Shutter enhance your home's beauty and increase its value. From our legendary all-wood plantation shutters, made right here in Naples for over 40 years, to luxurious blinds and shades, to the unique island appeal of Bahama shutters, Naples Shutter has you covered with a lifetime guarantee and over 40,000 satisfied customers. Call 239-566-8161 today for a free estimate. That's 239-566-8161 or visit NaplesShutter.com.
A movement to dump Trump. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I remember when Republicans in the Senate went to see Richard Nixon and said, it's over. That's what has to happen now.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi tells CBS 60 Minutes he incited last week's attack at the Capitol.
They were vocally saying, where's the speaker? We know she has staff. They're here someplace. We're going to find them.
And she is ready to remove the president from office.
Today, Speaker Pelosi says Democrats will start by introducing a resolution essentially urging the vice president to act. Democrats want Vice President Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment, forcing President Trump out of office. If not, the speaker says she has no problem with diving into impeachment yet again for a historic second time, even as the president only has 9 days left in office.
Fox's Mark Meredith. Some Republicans have joined the effort. Senator Pat Toomey told NBC's Meet the Press.
I think the best way for our country, Chuck, is for the president to resign and go away as soon as possible.
Well, the president has been quiet, silenced on social media, including a Twitter ban. A conservative site has been shut down for now. Fox's Evan Brown has this story live.
Yeah, Dave, Parler's website is gone, and its mobile apps won't display any messages because Amazon Web Services is refusing to host Parler anymore, blaming the app for fostering political violence. Parler CEO John Mates says otherwise.
So it's an obvious double standard. It's obvious collusion, and they're doing it, to stifle free speech and competition in the marketplace. And this could happen to literally anybody.
Yeah, both Apple and Google have already removed the app from their stores, despite it being the most downloaded. Parler says they're migrating to new hosting and will be back soon, Dave.
Evan, as President-elect Biden gets ready to take over next Wednesday, this morning we find out he plans to nominate William Burns as CIA director. Burns is a former Deputy Secretary of State who's also been U.S. Ambassador to Russia and Jordan. America's listening to Fox News.
Clouds and sunshine, even a few sprinkles are possible, but nothing too widespread. High temperatures today in the mid-70s, a notch warmer than what we had over the weekend. More 70s for the entire work week with a few isolated showers Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then by late Friday into Saturday morning, we are going to see another chance of rain with a cold front. That will be reinforcing another chilly weekend. Highs only in the 60s, lows in the 40s by Sunday morning with a chance of rain by Martin Luther King Jr. Day. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, Weather Authority.
Wink News, traffic.
The crash at Palm Beach Boulevard and Riverhall Parkway is still active, but delays decreased quite a bit. So now just a tap on the brakes as you're heading westbound towards Buckingham Road. However, if you are heading out to Lehigh Senior High, there's a crash at Gunnery Road and 15th Street West. This is delaying traffic southbound starting from around Buckingham Road all the way to Lee Boulevard. Very congested area. Avoid it if you can. You can always stick to Alvin Avenue to avoid this as well. Also, the interstate is up to speed, but we do have that crash at mile marker 133 heading southbound. This is just off to the side of the highway. No backups as of right now. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News next.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 8 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News. The antidote to the anti-conservatives, 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hi, this is Earl Ron, president of New South Window. At New South, we are determined to build the best Florida window. Energy-efficient windows that stand up to heat and hurricanes. We call it the ultimate Florida window. Factory direct and guaranteed for life. New South has installed tens of thousands of windows across the state and has been named one of the fastest-growing window companies in the nation. And that is why we're New South proud.
Going on now. Save 35% off factory direct windows and doors. Visit newsouthwindow.com.
Attention, Southwest Florida. Are you ready for this? Only Naples Nissan has been authorized to continue offering the full original MSRP for your trade-in. The factory warned us to end the offer, but after record-breaking sales in 2020, we've been approved to continue running it. If your trade-in is a 2014 or newer with less than 80,000 miles on it, regardless of where you purchased it from, only Naples Nissan will pay you the full original base MSRP for it so you can drive home in a brand new Nissan. Hundreds of new Nissan models to choose from. All backed by our exclusive unlimited mile lifetime warranty. Pick out your favorite and get full details at naplesnissan.com today. Offers on select models with approved credit and cannot be combined.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We sell more low-mileage cars and trucks than anyone in Southwest Florida because we have more. Over 300 vehicles in stock with locations in Fort Myers and Tampa. See for yourself at lee-cars.com.
Lee Auto Group is looking for quality pre-owned vehicles. Let them make your buying or selling experience easy and safe. Contact Lee Auto Group at 239-288-7374 or visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
Ever purchased an online item and either it doesn't fit, has missing parts, or became damaged? Trying to save a few bucks can end up costing more. My Shower Door is a locally owned and operated family business that measures, manufactures, and installs our own brand of frameless shower doors right here in Southwest Florida. And we were just named Lee County's Manufacturer of the Year. With almost 80,000 shower doors installed, we have the experience and expertise. Plus, estimates are always free. Want to see more? Go to myshowerdoor.com.
From the Fox News Podcasts Network, download and listen to the Media Buzz Meter with Howard Kurtz.
Assange was charged with 17 counts of espionage and one of computer misuse over the WikiLeaks publication of those thousands of leaked military and diplomatic documents. Now, his lawyers say, he's acting as a journalist. I'd like to see that testimony in court. I've never regarded Julian Assange as a journalist. I don't think he takes the precautions that journalists do. I think he just tries to do damage to America.
Subscribe and listen now by going to foxnewspodcasts.com. America's listening to Fox News. Did you hear the news? Now you can. With instant updates from Fox News for Amazon Alexa. Breaking stories and top headlines. Daily coronavirus developments. The economy and so much more. Brought to you by Fox News. America's #1 cable news network. Plus, setup couldn't be easier because everything's ready to go in the app. Just say,
Alexa, play news from Fox.
In Fox News.
It's the latest when you need it. On demand from Fox News and Amazon Alexa.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Hey, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592. That is the talk and text line. Listen, for the time being, we stream live on YouTube and Facebook, both at Drew Steele Radio. You can subscribe and tell people that we're there for right now. And it's great that you watch, and we do appreciate it. And, I kind of half say, I wonder how long, and sometimes I'm half joking, except when you find out that Parler's deplatformed and it's Amazon. It's the tech companies that have decided to band together to take down avenues of free speech and commerce. And then we've got to talk about if there's a bigger problem here. I mean, when you consider that Google and Microsoft and Comcast are among Joe Biden's biggest inauguration donors, you wonder how does that work? You wonder how other companies and how other businesses are being affected. For example, for those that say, they have it coming. Those Trump supporters, let me tell you something. We've got to punish them. Well, why do you say punish? Why do we need to be punished? We need to be punished. People that are Republicans, people like me who are conservative, we need to be punished because we don't believe in socialism, and we don't like the idea that socialism would be front and center in this country. And we think it's detrimental to many people, and they're about to find out, and we would rather them not find out the hard way, that somehow we need to be banished. We need to be shut down. We need to be punished. How do you do that? How do you do that knowing that sooner or later there won't be enough people to punish? The cancel culture soon will find out that once those people are canceled, there's no place to go except you. For example, are you a Democrat that's possibly working at the golf course, the Trump golf course? Is it possible that you are someone who doesn't talk about the fact that you're a Joe Biden supporter? You just put your head down. You don't say a word. You just go about your business because you like working at one of President Trump's golf courses. And so you do your thing during the day. But now you come to find out that the PGA has announced that they've canceled the PGA Championship tournament from being played at one of Trump's golf courses. PGA of America Board of Directors voted tonight to exercise the right to terminate the agreement to play the 2022 PGA Championship at Trump Bedminster. Gave a longer statement about why the PGA terminated it in a video. Fulfilling the mission Here it is. It's become clear that conducting the PGA Championship at Trump Bedminster would be detrimental to the PGA of America's brand. It would put at risk the PGA's ability to deliver our many programs and sustain the longevity of our mission. Really? Is that right? I wonder how that affects the people that work at the course. How that could affect the people that work in different places like Parler that's been deplatformed. That work at different businesses that are now going to be doxxed, if you will. Like what? You think that's the only one? You think that's the only place that people are saying, yeah, we're going to have to stop doing business with these individuals? You don't think that's coming? There are plenty more places that we're going to hear about and see, unfortunately. You have reporters that are claiming, left-wing reporters are demanding that Twitter silence conservative reporters that have done nothing wrong. So by kicking off all the conservatives off of Twitter, what you're doing is creating an echo chamber in Twitter that is just left-leaning voices that you claim that the other free speech alternatives like Parler were doing, which is ridiculous. So you're doing what you're claiming others are doing. So there's that. And then some of the other things that we brought up. You know, I'm amazed that Nancy Pelosi, who is going ahead now with the launching of a second impeachment and is also going to activate the 25th Amendment, how the talk now is, oh, you know what? It may not happen right away. Here's the thing. Not only is it pretty unlikely that 67 senators and 290 House members are going to vote to permanently remove him, that Pence is going to be on board with this, that you have all of these things going on. It is interesting that James Clyburn, House Majority Whip, is saying that, listen, it could come tomorrow, it might come Wednesday, but just to let you know, it could be a while. We could be talking about 100 days out before we actually do anything. Let's give President-elect Biden the 100 days he needs to get his agenda off and running, and then maybe we'll send the articles sometime after that. Excuse me? Yeah, that's the thinking. That's the thinking of people who definitely want to clear things up right now, right? No, not at all. That's the sound of individuals who are showing and proving that they are out to punish. They're not out for anything else. And there's a lot of examples of that. You know, I'm looking at Nancy Pelosi and what she was saying 60 Minutes over the weekend. It's good to see a little baby bit of pushback from Leslie Stahl. A little pushback on Nancy Pelosi. Although it'll be short-lived. But anyway, about the idea of compromise. This is hysterical. Listen to Nancy Pelosi here talking about and being asked about compromise and being asked about COVID relief.
You, yourself, are not known as a person who compromises.
No, I am. I compromise. We want to get the job done. I'm mischaracterized by the Republicans that way, but that's a tactic that they use. No, we know we want results for the American people.
What about the COVID relief package?
Yeah.
That was held up for 8 months?
No. But that was their obstruction. I understand this.
Well, wait.
That was their obstruction. And then Leslie Stahl's like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah. Was their obstruction.
Yours too.
Their obstruction.
No. Yours too. Takes
no,
two
it wasn't obstruction.
You held out for 8 months.
No, we held it up because there was no respect for our heroes, our state and local healthcare workers, police and fire, our first responders, our sanitation, transportation, food workers, our teachers. They would not go down that path.
There's a member of your caucus who said specifically that we look like obstructionists and it was a mistake.
But I don't remember anybody saying that.
I'm not sure, unless it's like some chocolate ice cream or something in her freezer. I'm not sure Nancy Pelosi really remembers a whole lot of much or anything. Or maybe it's just like a selective memory. I don't know. It's like a
bowl of doggy do.
That's what it is. But yeah, a little bit of Nancy Pelosi because, you know, it's all Republicans and at least there's a little bit of pushback. But, you know, there's a whole lot of folks that agree with her. All right, let's do this. I'm looking at the phones. I want to get to your calls, 239-479-5592. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll get to your calls. Maybe you want to talk about the deplatforming of Parler taken down and what happens next, and how could you possibly feel good about that? About Nancy Pelosi and trying to once again impeach the president, part deux, or maybe not deux, more like...
a bowl of doggy do.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe you want to get to that and more. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back with your calls next on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along. Traffic. Here's Sabrina Katz.
We're at a 4-mile backup on I-75 from the crash that's just south of Colonial. So if you're heading south of MLK, I would take Ortiz to 6 Mile. If you're heading south of Colonial, stick to Tree Line. It's completely up to speed. There's also a crash at Alico and Indy Drive with reports saying complete roadblock westbound on Alico. So if you're heading west of Three Oaks, stick to Lee to Sanibel Boulevard, and that will get you back to US 41. Also, there is a crash at Palm Beach Boulevard and Awanita Road. Slowdowns if you are in Alva on Palm Beach Boulevard. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
After the cool start, high temperature of 75 degrees, clouds and sunshine with even a few sprinkles possible, especially this morning. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, Weather Authority.
Tougher than plastic, harder than wood. Nothing beats the power of steel. Drew Steel, weekday mornings at 6 on 92.5 Fox News.
Hey, good morning. Good to see you all here. Thanks for joining us on our live stream for the time being on YouTube and on Facebook. Hey, could you do me a favor? As I'm watching the comments and reactions, can you tell me right now, what is it, about 8:15, 8:17, something like that, before I go back to calls, can you let me know that you're listening, that you're watching right now? I just want to see who's here, to see that you're watching the program right now as opposed to in your car just at 8 o'clock on this Monday morning. And I know it's a holiday, but if you could just let me know that you're here. I just want to see that you're watching right now. And get a gauge as to who's on and who's joining us right now. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, I'm going to flip back to the station, but I do want to see all the folks that are here. If you wouldn't mind letting me know. I see, all right, Marriott Michael and Aaron Cummings and Terry and Christy Myers. Good to see you all. Kimberly Mall and James Witt and Treb. And Louise Schaefer and Judy White and Richard Fry and Pamela Blakemore Tatum and Carol Unknown Big, Williams Ridge Studio and Sandy Myth and Pam Stewart and Lori Martini. I like that's a cool name. Jeffrey Bosick and Jeff W. and Crypto's here and Phil C. Saguaro. Teresa's here every day. I know that. Beldar Conant. Okay. Let's see. Craig Meyer and Benjamin Conley. And we all appreciate you being here. All right. Noemi. And Tanya's here from Michigan. Larry Bass. Appreciate all of you watching. Thank you so much for being here. All right. I'm going to flip over because I got to get ready to take some calls. Yeah, the rush thing, by the way, the rush thing was just some technical glitches. Just some changes we're making with some of the equipment at the station. So it's not anything other than technical glitches. So that's all it is. We'll be back tomorrow. Rush will be back. Don't sweat it. All right. Great to see you all. All right. Stay there. We'll be back in just a second.
Location that is best for you and your goals. Another key factor is that all of our employees are owners in the trust company through an employee stock ownership plan. So we have no interest in being acquired, and more importantly, we have a vested interest in seeing our clients as happy as we are. Are you ready for a better experience? Contact us at the Sanibel Captiva Trust Company or the Naples Trust Company. Visit sancaptrustco.com to discover the difference.
Not FDIC insured. All investments involve risk and are not guaranteed.
This is State Representative Spencer Roach. Did you know that you can understand the entire plan of the Constitution by reading just one sentence, the 10th Amendment, which Thomas Jefferson called the foundation of the U.S. Constitution? The 10th Amendment, in that one sentence, perfectly encapsulates the idea of a government of limited powers and states' rights. It says that all powers not delegated to the federal government are reserved to the states. There are two words that appear 5 times in the first 10 amendments, which we know today is the Bill of Rights. Those two words are the people. But it's the closing line of that last sentence of the last amendment, the 10th, that affirms that the ultimate authority in this country rests with we the people. And the best way to push back against federal overreach is with a strong state legislature. As Washington continues to fail us, we need to look back to our founding principles of strong governments from strong state legislatures. This is Spencer Roach, 10th Amendment Conservative. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned. Stay engaged. Sponsored by Friends of Spencer Roach. P.O. Box 3179, North Fort Myers, Florida, 33918.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Lots of people calling, so let's go right to the phones. 239-479-5592. Whatever you want to talk about this morning. Mario's in Fort Myers. Mario's been holding patiently. We do appreciate it. I believe he's still there. Mario, good morning.
I'm here.
All right, Mario, what's on your mind?
Good morning. I believe we're experiencing a long process that is just started. It has been experienced in South America. It's called the Revolutionary War. It's the way the Communist Party takes over. You have seen what they have done to the president. It's going to be done to all of us. We have to be prepared. In some countries, and I can give you, for instance, what they have done previously in Argentina, when they don't like a representative, he's not allowed to go into Congress. So the messages are loud and clear for us. In terms of what happened at the Capitol, I think it was not appropriate. I believe the president gave the right words, which is protest peacefully and basically as a patriot. That was the intention. What happened, I don't know. But it is really dangerous.
Yeah. Mario, listen, I do appreciate your call and your perspective on this, and thank you so much. 239-479-5592. And look, there are things that we recognize. There are things that said we were told was never going to happen, that we would never see. And then all of a sudden they're coming to fruition. And we're starting to see all of these things happening and the banning of businesses and the doxing. I mean, the PGA saying, yeah, you're not going to play. We're not going to have the 2022 tournament at Trump's Bedminster because, Trump and other people that, we hear some horrible things. Paul Sperry from Real Clear Investigations, Real Clear Politics, saying this morning that Democrats in both the House and Senate are planning to draft legislation to classify MAGA rallies as domestic terrorist activity and require the FBI, DOJ, and DHS to take steps to prevent such domestic terrorism. You see where this is going and the pushback. And then, unfortunately, listen, we don't want socialism to take hold here to the point where people are going to be harmed in ways that they never imagined and then say, what did I do, when it's too late? We would like it to not get to that point. Mark's in Fort Myers. Hey, Mark.
How are you?
Good, Mark. What's on your mind?
What I was going to address was your comments about some of the big tech companies and so forth, how they're controlling everything. And what I wonder is, do these people ever think of what's going to happen to them? I believe that the socialists are going to take us back even worse than it was in the Obama days. And what's going to happen is people are not going to have money to buy things. They're not going to be shipping things all over the country. They're not going to be buying the high-tech devices that we have. What's going to happen then? What happens? Does the government take over, the federal government?
Yeah, they do. I think you answer. I think you answer your own question. Yeah, I think a big point in all of this is that the left, the socialists in this country, they don't care about that because they know that you'll be dependent even more on them, to which they'll give you what you need to survive. And oh, by the way, if you vote us out of office, then you can consider all of that gone. And if some of those institutions are no longer as strong as they used to be, and free market and capitalism, then the only place to go is to the federal government.
That's absolutely correct. And the problem is they don't care. They will thunder forward when they get control after the 20th of January. It's going to be really an eye-opening experience for us, and I hope we can survive it.
Well, I believe, and thanks for the call, Mark there in Fort Myers. I appreciate the call, and I believe we can. Absolutely, I think we can. John's in Naples. I think John has a thought on one way to fight back, as it were. John?
Hey, good morning, Drew. How you doing?
I'm all right.
And it's nice to have you on the air still.
I'm still here right now.
The reason I'm saying that is because don't you feel that one day you're going to say something and you're going to be canceled? And I think that the American people now, we have an opportunity, and you as a platform help us out in saying, we need to start boycotting like Amazon. If Amazon is a company that is, canceling out all conservatives, well, our opportunity now, we had an opportunity to vote. Our opportunity now is in the pocket. If we start hitting these companies and making them feel in their pockets, we will make our voices heard too. We don't need to protest. We have the opportunity right now by having, the opportunity with the pocket. Because right now, like when they, remember Oats, when they went to boycott Oats, they wanted to.
Yeah, Alfie Oaks plays Seed the Table. Yeah.
Everything outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we need to start not standing in front of Walmart or whatever, but we need to start.
We need to start boycotting, is what you're saying. Have you ever been? You ever been to Seed to Table? You ever try to park at Seed to Table?
Yes, and that's what we need to start doing.
Yeah,
and that's how we got to address this. It's not protesting and doing. We need to hit him in the pocket.
Yeah, and John, listen, the music's playing. We're hitting a hard break. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Yeah, we need to start boycotting. We need to start going to conservative businesses, finding them, searching them out. And, there's more on the other side that I wanted to talk about with this as well and get to your calls. Plus the top 5 audio clips coming up.
It is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
Shouldn't you feel amazing? Hello, this is Dr. Heiler in Naples from the Feel Amazing Institute. If you suffer from chronic knee pain, back pain, or neuropathy, I have solutions for you. Regenerative medicine and stem cell treatment options that are now approved and often paid for by Medicare. Call my office for a free telephone consultation at 239-330-1000. That's 330-1000. This is Dr. Heiler, board-certified chiropractic neurologist. My office combines regenerative medicine, chiropractic, and neurology to help you feel amazing again. Knee pain, back pain, and neuropathy, I have affordable and Medicare-friendly solutions for you. I only do 5 free consultations per week, so please call right away. 239-330-1000. Also at feelamazing.com.
Hi, this is Earl Ron, president of New South Window. At New South, we are determined to build the best Florida window. Energy-efficient windows that stand up to heat and hurricanes. We call it the ultimate Florida window. Factory direct and guaranteed for life. New South has installed tens of thousands of windows across the state and has been named one of the fastest growing window companies in the nation. And that is why we're New South proud.
Going on now. Save 35% off factory direct windows and doors. Visit newsouthwindow.com.
Attention, Southwest Florida. Are you ready for this? Only Naples Nissan has been authorized to continue offering the full original MSRP for your trade-in. The factory warned us to end the offer, but after record-breaking sales in 2020, we've been approved to continue running it. If your trade-in is a 2014 or newer with less than 80,000 miles on it, regardless of where you purchased it from, only Naples Nissan will pay you the full original base MSRP for it so you can drive home in a brand new Nissan. Hundreds of new Nissan models to choose from. All backed by our exclusive unlimited mile lifetime warranty. Pick out your favorite and get full details at naplesnissan.com today. Offers on select models with approved credit and cannot be combined.
Hi, I'm David Honeymeyer, COO of Seminole Gaming.
At Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, our Safe and Sound program was developed with data and facts from local, national, and global authorities and industry councils. Safe and Sound means stringent sanitary protocols, plus our clean team in their bright yellow shirts. You'll see them cleaning and sanitizing common areas and high-touch surfaces. We remain committed and dedicated, the safe bet to keep you safe and sound. We're ready when you are for some good, clean fun.
If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Foster. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is planning another impeachment vote accusing President Trump of inciting last week's riot at the Capitol.
Democrats plan to first introduce a resolution urging Vice President Mike Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment. In a letter, the Speaker writes, quote, "We are calling on the Vice President to respond within 24 hours. Next, we will proceed with bringing impeachment legislation to the floor." Now, there are no indications that the Vice President plans to force the President out of office, especially with only 9 days left in his term.
Fox's Mark Meredith. The Houthi rebel group in Yemen is being labeled a terrorist organization by the United States government.
The group is aligned with Iran and has been fighting a war against Yemen's government since 2014. The terrorist label would lead to U.S. sanctions. Aid groups say those penalties risk making Yemen's humanitarian crisis even worse. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says precautions will be taken.
Fox's Simon Owen. America's listening to Fox News.
This update is presented by Stevie Tomatoes Sports Page in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples.
Wink News traffic.
We're at a 4-mile backup on I-75 from the crash that's just south of Colonial. So if you're heading south of MLK, I would take Ortiz to 6 Mile. If you're heading south of Colonial, stick to Tree Line. It's completely up to speed. There's also a crash at Alico and Indy Drive with reports saying complete roadblock westbound on Alico. So if you're heading west of Three Oaks, stick to Lee to Sanibel Boulevard, and that will get you back to US 41. Also, there is a crash at Palm Beach Boulevard and Awanita Road. Slowdowns if you are in Alva on Palm Beach Boulevard. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For your Monday, clouds and sunshine. Even a few sprinkles are possible, but nothing too widespread. High temperatures today in the mid-70s, a notch warmer than what we had over the weekend. More 70s for the entire work week with a few isolated showers Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then by late Friday into Saturday morning, we are going to see another chance of rain with a cold front. That will be reinforcing another chilly weekend. Highs only in the 60s, lows in the 40s by Sunday morning with a chance of rain by Martin Luther King Jr. Day. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour. You don't have to feel distant. Come join the conversation.
I just want to say I love America because everyone gets a voice.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
Steven Tomatoes Sports Page. Come for the food, stay for the sports.
Hi, it's Big Al from Stevie Tomatoes. They say love and passion makes the world go round. Love for home, family, your country, partner, a friend, and love for food. Stevie wants to be part of your love with our food, drink, sports, and fun. Our passion for your satisfaction brings our love to all of our great customers. Whether it's our brisket short rib burgers, Chicago pizza, fajitas, wings, fish fry, or ribs, it's delivered to your table with love. So at Stevie's, we invite you to share our love of great food, drinks, sports, and fun. You'll never get bored or broke. We feel loved by the sound of our great customers. We promise to treat you like family at your home away from home. I guarantee it. For daily specials, go to StevieTomato.com. Stevie Tomatoes Sports Page, Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Naples. Come, come, come.
Steven Tomatoes Sports Page. Come for the food, stay for the sports.
Trust. It's the rock-solid foundation of Moran Wealth Management. Over 40 years ago, they began advising clients on ways to help meet their financial goals. 4 decades later, we've helped many reach their goals of providing for themselves, their families, and future generations. CEO Tom Moran has assembled an impressive team of professionals, each committed to the same core concept. Tom is recognized by Barron's as a Hall of Fame advisor. To be named a Hall of Fame advisor, the advisor has to have been ranked by Barron's consecutively for the last 10 years in any of their rankings. Let us earn your trust. Call 239-920-4440 or visit moranwm.com. Barron's rankings are based on data provided by thousands of advisors. Factors included in the rankings were assets under management, revenue produced for the firm, regulatory record, length of service, quality of practice, and client retention. Investment products and services are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC, WFAFN, member SIPC. Moran Wealth Management is a separate entity from WFAFN.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News, 239-479-5592. I'd love to know what your thoughts are this morning. As right after the top 5 audio clips of the day, we will take your phone calls. We call it The Thing, so whatever it is your thing is this morning that you want to discuss, I would love to hear from you. That's coming up in just a minute. First, here's the top 5 audio clips of the day. It's the 5 at 8:35.
Drew's Top 5 at 8:35 is brought to you by Moran Wealth Management. Isn't it time to review your portfolio options? Go to moranwm.com.
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
Number 5. Can we talk about the A word? What's that? Age. Oh, age. You're 80. Right. Your number 2, Steny Hoyer's 81. Your number 3, Jim Clyburn, is 80. Why haven't you brought young people into the leadership?
Because we have. You perhaps don't know.
Why does AOC complain that you have not been grooming younger people for leadership?
I don't know. You'll have to ask her.
I don't know. You'll have to ask her. You know, when I listened to that interview with Nancy Pelosi and there's Leslie Stahl in 60 Minutes interviewing her, and she gets very defensive. You know, yeah, so we're all 80. So what? AOC, she gets her time. I wonder how much they cut out of those interviews. You ever ask that question? Like, you know, they selectively edit conservatives when they're on 60 Minutes. Republicans go on 60 Minutes and they think they're going to get a fair shake. And, you know, they slice and dice and mince and molds and make tons of julienne salads like the old, what is it? All of those devices that you would get for your kitchen. You know, the Ronco things. But you have to wonder how much they spliced and diced Nancy Pelosi to sound halfway coherent. I wonder about that.
Number 4.
When the Ayatollah says he wants to get rid of the Jews, he wants to demolish Israel, that's okay with the social media platforms. When Maduro lies about what's happening in Venezuela, that's okay with social media. And when she says, oh, it's glorious to what he's doing, genocide against the Uyghurs, that's okay with social media. But a conservative saying something in this country, that we can't stand for that.
There's Fox and Friends and Senator Rick Scott, who was on the program this morning, explaining that there seems to be this little double standard that's going on with some of the social media platforms. And to that, the social media outlets say, yeah, come and get us. You realize how much you control, you allowed us to control everything that's going on right now when it comes to big tech's control. I mean, it was the government that gave them that kind of control, and they're now throwing it in everybody's face.
Number 3.
They all worked together to make sure at the same time we would lose access to not only our apps, but they're actually shutting all of our servers off tonight, off the internet. So they made an attempt to not only kill the apps, but to actually destroy the entire company.
That is John Matz. He is the CEO of Parler. He was on Sunday Morning Futures on Fox, Maria Bartiromo's fantastic program, and saying, listen, they're basically trying to kill the company. And the move that they did, they decided that Google decided to take them off the app platform first. And then Apple said, if you don't do some changes, then we're going to take you out. And they did it. And then Amazon came along and says, hey, I could do one better. We host them. So if we take them off the hosting platform, then you are effectively gone. And that's what they did. And how many people on the left are cheering that today? And how many Democrats in this town are cheering that today? And I'd love to know why.
Number 2.
Our focus will be on small businesses on Main Street that aren't wealthy and well-connected, that are facing real economic hardships through no fault of their own. Our priority will be Black, Latino, Asian, and Native American-owned small businesses, women-owned businesses, and finally having equal access to resources needed to reopen and rebuild.
Hold on a second. That is the future president of the United States, Joe Biden, explaining that the priority to get businesses up and running is going to be Black, Latino, Asian, and Native American-owned small businesses, women-owned businesses, and finally having equal access to resources needed to reopen and rebuild. It's a group that he left out. And the interesting part of this is that I don't know how more overt you can be about having something race and gender-based as opposed to all Americans who could use the help. And it's interesting how I don't hear a lot of people on the left questioning that part of it. Is that not a big deal that people are...
Number one.
The effect of this is that there is no longer a free and open social media company or site for any American to get on any longer. Because these big companies, Apple, Amazon, Google, they have just destroyed what was likely, Parler is likely $1 billion company. Poof, it's gone. But it's more than just the financial aspect of that. Republicans have no way to communicate. It doesn't even matter if you're a Republican or conservative. If you don't want to be regulated by left-wingers that are at Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, where you get shadow banned, nobody gets to see you, they get to decide what's violent or not violent, it's preposterous.
That is Devin Nunes on Sunday Morning Futures talking about the taking down of these platforms. Poof, they're gone, and that maybe there's something else needs to be done here.
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
Wondering whether or not there's needs to be a RICO investigation into big tech. I mean, when you all get together, Apple, Google, Amazon, all big tech gets together to decide that maybe there's one business that they don't want to exist anymore, and they come together to see to it that happens. That's a problem, right? I mean, legally, we could probably make a case there. Shouldn't we? You know, I'm amazed at how people feel like that many of these private companies, you know, they've got protection. I mean, you know, these are just platforms. They don't have any say. Are we going to keep talking about that now, about how these platforms don't have a say? They're only protecting their business interests. And, you know, I'm wondering how, if during the summer, if there were these calls and it happened that certain platforms would have been taken down, like Facebook and others, who allowed for the continuous barrage of media that was coming out, showing the looting and the destruction and the rioting, and how it seems like nobody said anything there. In the midst of all of that, you know, would you want all of that to be taken down? Would you want those institutions, those platforms to be taken down? There has to be some. So how do you fight it, is the question. You know, is it regulations? Gosh, are we going to talk about that? We have to regulate companies. Is that what we have to do? We can't trust them to do the right thing. You know, Section 230, there was a huge portion of what Section 230 was at the time when it was first implemented. That was all about trust. That was all about understanding that there's an opportunity here for the interwebs, if you will, to grow. And in order for it to grow, there is a need for some help to nurture these platforms, and to believe that there would be some trust on their end as well to do the right thing. And that trust was betrayed. And your thoughts, 239-479-5592. What do you think about all the news that's out there today? You know, you've got Nancy Pelosi talking about the second Trump impeachment and the 25th Amendment, and how, listen, we don't want to ruin the first 100 days of Joe Biden's administration. So maybe in 100 days, we'll retake up impeachment. We can put it forward now and then revisit it later. I mean, that's what's being discussed. House Majority Whip Clyburn is suggesting that. Do you see that there's a real view to be had here about what kind of damage people want to do to the Republicans, to the brand, to Donald Trump, to his brand, to supporters, to MAGA supporters? Democrats in both the House and Senate are planning to draft legislation to classify MAGA rallies as domestic terrorist activities. Does anybody else see how outrageous that is? I mean, I guess the good news in all of this is, we're not getting too crazy or devolved. At least we're not hearing anything from like Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's trying to chime in on this whole thing.
As an immigrant to this country, I would like to say a few words to my fellow Americans, to our friends around the world.
I can't do it. I want to play the audio of Arnold Schwarzenegger and what he said and where he went in all of this, and intimating that maybe some of you out there could be compared to the 1940s, and if you want to go there in the 30s and the 40s, and you know who I'm talking about, and I don't even want to say it, but you can only imagine. Is anybody chiming in? Is anybody really saying, gosh, I wish we could hear some more from Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'd really love to get his view on what's going on. Anybody say that? I mean, is he still a Republican? Did he go the way of Colin Powell, who's telling us now that he no longer want to be a Republican? I didn't know that Colin Powell was still a Republican, or was even thinking about being one, or was supporting those, or whatever. I digress. All right, lots of people calling. Good. We got to do this right now, each and every day at this time. You know what we do? We take your phone calls. We ask you about your thing. So we do the thing right now.
You know the thing. You know the thing. You know the thing. You know the thing.
All right, let's bounce around a little bit. We don't have a whole lot of time. Let's start with Ruth in Fort Myers. She's been holding patiently. Ruth, your thoughts? What's your thing this morning, Ruth? What's your thing?
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you. I'm here. Are you there? It's me. Is that you?
Yes. Okay. Just wondering. Okay. Yeah. My point is the same as Mario's, the first caller from South America. Well, I've got 2 points. We're in the midst of a totalitarian takeover. I've been seeing it for a long time, ever since they started the coup against the president. As a matter of fact, I spoke to a congressman's staff one time about 8 months after the coup, and I said, I don't see the difference between what happens in the Soviet Union and what's happening here right now. Anyhow, so basically, a totalitarian takeover means they consolidate power by taking over communications. They have taken over communications through indoctrination, basically. Then they purge their political opponents. They suppress free speech by instruments like the KGB in Russia, the Stasi in East Germany. That's all going to happen here. And once they get entrenched, it's very hard to
take it away. Yeah.
Them, basically.
Yeah. No. And I'll say this. I'll say this, Ruth. And listen, I always appreciate the call, Ruth. Thanks so much there in Fort Myers, 239-479-5592. We got a lot of folks calling, but I talked to a few people over the weekend, and clearly a lot of the discussion is how do we fight back and what do we do? Boy, I'll tell you, I'm just going to throw this out there. Elon Musk is now the richest person on the face of the planet. And Elon Musk has given every indication through tweets and other places that he's a big fan of free speech. Certainly, he's a fan of free markets and capitalism, I would believe. What an opportunity to start and open up hosting services or platforms that would allow for that to take place, and tell the rest of the people to go pound sand if they have a problem with him. I'm the richest guy on the planet. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. And opportunities for entrepreneurs to, like on Gab, right? The CEO of Gab, who built his own cloud service just in case something like this were to happen. That's why Gab is still up. I mean, they've got to build that infrastructure up a little more, but the reason why it's still there and Parler is not is because they saw this coming when they were deplatformed back in, I believe, 2018. In 2016, they felt like this could be happening and built their own. All right, let's go to George. George, you got some thoughts this morning. Go ahead. What's your thing?
Yeah, what I'm thinking that where all these 300 conservative judges which Trump put on the bench? Why there is no judge who's saying that you cannot in 24 hours deplatform this Rambler or what, not Rambler, Parler or whatever? where they are.
Well, I think what happens, George, is one of the things that the left does so well is that they make sure that anything that is put forward, anything that happens is put forward into districts where the federal judges are not friendly, let's say, to the Constitution and the rule of law, that they are the activists. And the thing is, if you file in certain districts, you know that district, when you file there, is going to be heard by a judge, a federal judge that is somebody that's on your team, so to speak. So it's really not about it's not a crapshoot. It's specific, and it's when you go to that district, that's who you will get, and the left knows that too well. And unfortunately, that's where a lot of this has taken place. George, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Call anytime. Always love to hear from you. Pam is in Cape Coral. Pam's got a thought on this. Pam.
Hey, Drew.
Hi.
Yeah, my thought is this is all just a bunch of noise. We are going to love how this movie ends on January 20th, Trump 2020.
All right. There goes Pam. Pam's gone. Okay. So, yeah. It's quite a movie. Do we have to play this movie? Hey, can Arnold Schwarzenegger not play a part in this movie? That would be kind of nice. But a couple of things that I'm keeping an eye on this morning as we head to a break. You know, you have those that are going to be in power. You know, you got Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin's going to be one of the most powerful people in the Senate. And is it possible that on a couple of different issues, he's changing his tune a little bit? You know, remember something. We are in the midst of the 2022 election, and we're close to 2024. And there are going to be a lot of House members and senators that are going to be up for re-election and could very well be primaried, pressured. Joe Manchin understands what his state looks like. And so he's starting to change his tune a little bit about maybe being open to Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C. being new United States and the consequences therein. And as well as packing the court, he's mentioned that he's not all on board with everything the Democrats are doing. So that is sort of a low light in at the end of the tunnel that you can look at. But there are, man, I got to play this Arnold audio. I just don't have enough time right now to do it. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow. I'm sure you're going to hear a lot about it today. But one thing I want to press on, and it's this. Like the Senator Scott was saying about how Twitter has not suspended certain accounts that openly incite violence, their glorification of violence policy. And he talked about those specific accounts, and they exist, and you can see them. They're out there. The Federalist has a great article on this and calls them right out, specifically who they are, and you can see. And, you know, the talking of Kamala Harris over the summer and saying, oh, listen, these protests, these peaceful protests, they're never going to stop. They're not going to stop. They're going to continue. They're going to continue. And as a matter of fact, encouraging people to go to websites that would post bail for those individuals. And, you know, some might say, hey, that's inciting, isn't it a little bit? Do we want to question that portion? Does she get impeached over this? Because to encourage the kind of violence that was going on over the summer, I mean, I just ask. But remember something else. Remember why Twitter permanently deleted Donald Trump from Twitter. And what they said was it was because of two specific tweets. One was the 75 million great American patriots who voted for me, America First, and Make America Great Again will have a giant voice long into the future. They'll not be disrespected or treated unfairly in any way, shape, or form. So you're saying to yourself, well, what's so bad about that? They determined that those tweets were in violation of the glorification of violence policy. Excuse me? How? Well, here's how they explain it. Number one, the use of words American patriots to describe some of his supporters. Now, this is Twitter's written response. Their words, not mine. Quote, the use of the words American patriots to describe some of his supporters is also being interpreted as support for those committing violent acts at the U.S. Capitol. Interpreted. Really? By who? By you? So putting words in the president's mouth, putting words in your mouth. Hey, listen, do you feel like you're an American patriot? Well, Twitter has a different opinion on what that means. Quote, the mention of his supporters having a giant voice long into the future and that they will not be disrespected or treated unfairly in any way, shape, or form is being interpreted as further indication that President Trump doesn't plan to facilitate an orderly transition. Really? And then the second tweet of the president's. To all of those who have asked, I will not be going to the inauguration on January 20th. And Twitter's response was that tweet may also serve as encouragement to those potentially considering violent acts that the inauguration would be a safe target because he will not be attending. What? I'll just leave it at that. That's their reasoning. Interpretation. You ever get interpreted? I know you don't, because I don't think interpreted is a word. Think they might be interpreting you in the future? Or somebody? All right. Let's find out what's going on with the remainder of the forecast today with news meteorologist Matt Devitt.
After the cool start, high temperature of 75 degrees, clouds and sunshine with even a few sprinkles.